Can you guys hear me? This is a testing. 20 minutes till launch. 20 minutes till showdown. Testing the audio, making sure you guys can hear me. I'll be checking the chat to see what the response is. Christopher Hart, you better have that same energy when this podcast starts, man. I better see that same energy in the chat when this podcast starts. I appreciate the super chat, $5 super chat from, how you pronounce his name again? Taruichi. I definitely butchered it still. Look, man, they know I can't pronounce stuff, man. Get your popcorn ready. King is about to be in rare form. Great night of fights. Last night boxing and MMA solve. I hope you watched YouTube Cog. King did. Clearly, King definitely watched that. We'll be going live here momentarily, guys. We'll be going live here momentarily.
Hi, this is Lord Sovereign from the Iron Lord podcast. As you guys may recall, a few months back, King David OTW announced an amazing giveaway for the Xbox Series X. Well, I'm proud to announce that the Iron Lords podcast will once again be giving away another console at the end of this year. And that console will be a PlayStation 5. You heard correctly. So, how do you get in on this amazing giveaway? Let me explain. If you're already a member of the realm, you're good to go. If you support us either on Patreon or YouTube, you already have a ballot to win this amazing console. And if you support us on both platforms, you have 2 ballots to win this amazing console, as you also have 2 ballots to win an Xbox Series X. So, if you're not a member of the realm, what are you waiting for? Head on over to patreon.com, go to the Iron Lords podcast Patreon page, become a member of the realm to get your chance to win a PlayStation 5. You can also join us on YouTube/Iron Lords podcast. Become a member of the realm and you will also have a ballot to win a PlayStation 5 console. And if you want to support us on both platforms, you'll have 2 ballots for each system to win either a PlayStation 5 console or, of course, as King David said, an Xbox Series X. This is an amazing opportunity that the Iron Lords podcast are so happy to bring to our community because you guys give so much back to us. So again, if you're not a member of the realm yet, what are you waiting for? Go out, join the realm on either Patreon or YouTube. And until next time, I'll see you at the round table.
Go.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 178 of the Iron Lord podcast. I am your host once again, Lord Sovereign. And I'll be honest with you guys, man, I don't even know why we're having a podcast today. Because honestly, it was a very slow news week. I think you all could agree.
Nothing that happened.
Nothing at all happened this week. So we're just here to just, shoot the breeze and have fun. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the round table here on the Lord's Day. We will have the boss, LordCognito, joining us in progress. So, guys, quick reminder before we get into the roll of show. As you saw my intro there, like we're coming down to the final weeks of these contests. The final week. So, guys, if you have not joined the realm either on Patreon or YouTube, get it done. Get in there. I'm hearing somebody else's voice. So, guys, definitely, we're coming down to the last couple of weeks of this. If you want to get in on this, please go join the Patreon, go join the YouTube channel so you guys can have multiple entries to win both of these consoles, all right? So before we get into the introductions of the 3 lords that are here, let me get to these super chats because what happens with these super chats.
Yep.
So we have Lord Tazuichi with the $5 super chat. Hey, Saab, remixes with Frankie Negron, Oscar de Leon, Jose Arroyo, Cecilia Cruz, Tito Puente, and many more just sing. So I'll leave those technicalities to King and Addict. They're the ones that do the magic behind the scenes. They can adjust that as necessary. Then we have Lord Tempest Son with the $5 super chat. Shout out to the Lords. Love you guys. Have an awesome show. Then we have Lord Smitty Smith with the $2 super chat. There is no greater power than X, the book of X. And then last but not least, we have Pixelbit G with the $2 super chat. Looking forward to King clowning port beggars. Oh my Lord.
Please, kind sir. Please.
We got the heat early in the chat. So let's get into these intros. First off, we have the co-host of the Iron Lords podcast and the young wolf of the ILP, Lord Addict. What's going on, brother? I agree. I've seen. I just wanted to hear. I did this week for specifically why Addict said that, because there's so much smoke. Oh, it's to the point like you're gonna have your fanboys on either side of the argument. That's fun to watch, right? Oh, and there was damage controlling. Oh my god!
I don't watch anybody's podcast.
Bro, all of a sudden, people are worried about the state of the industry. Oh my god, bro. You know, but you knew it was coming.
We're gonna get into that.
You knew it was coming. So let's and what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing not a whole lot actually. I've been playing Destiny. I've been playing a lot of my Switch, and actually I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight here lately.
Yo, I heard it's been lit over there with that, man. What's up? Anything new?
No, that's about all. Cause like I said, I've been watching so much podcast
Time.
You got shut out.
Tiny.
I didn't do it. So you've been playing what?
I've been playing Dead by Daylight. I've been playing some Destiny. Just a little Destiny, not too much. Just a little Destiny.
Why is that? Because it was in Game Pass and you got everything for free?
No, I have not booted that up one time on the console until I get that X, until I get that 60 frames. I refuse.
Bet. All right, so let's get these super chats before we move on. First off, we have Sin Vendetta with the question for King. Hey, King, do you have any Gambit statues?
Let me tell you something. Sideshow's Gambit statue forced me to readjust my lineup and made me cancel out my Iron Studios Sentinel diorama. There was 3 Sentinels. There was 1,800 each and had a bunch of X-Men around them. Made me drop that line, and I went solely for the 1/4 X-Men line. And that Gambit statue is inbound. I will be doing a KOS about that, and you hit it right on the head. I know you saw it.
Apologies, King. They're saying that Addict's mic is off.
No, my mic's fine. I
can't hear Addict. They're saying you're muted.
Yeah.
No, they should. No, someone. They're saying they can hear me now. I fixed it.
Okay, you fixed it. Okay, got you.
Yeah.
My bad. I was reading over.
And the XM Studio one is a decent entry, but I think the Sideshow one destroys it. So yeah, it's inbound.
Okay, cool, excellent. So let's have put them crests in the chat for the newest member of the realm, Darnell Tavares. Welcome to the realm, sir.
That's a strong name.
Darnell, was it that PlayStation 5?
That sounds like something that would kill me in Destiny.
The Tavares. All right, then we have Carlos Stoller with the £2 super chat, I believe. Gotta love Jim the dancing Pinocchio Ryan, baby.
Yo, I think that's hot. Dancing Pinocchio, hell yeah.
There are no strings to hold me down. Hold on a second. Then we have Stitch with the $5 super chat. We gather here today to listen to the word of the prophet, Lord King David. Who did that for you?
What's funny is I was in a Discord with Press Start, and I was talking to Blaze. I was like, yo, like, I didn't think I could manage King last week. I was like, this ain't nothing to compare what King will be this week.
Yo, listen, for me, I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling this prophet thing, but yo, you gotta give it to King. King, wow, because you know what it is. We'll get into it, but he bet on this man from the rip. No budging, no nothing, no budging. And what can you say?
He's going to go down as the greatest Xbox CEO, period.
I don't disagree.
There's one more step that he's going to do, and that's when it's just going to be like foot to the throat.
Foot to the throat.
Then we have, let's see, I have Lord Beaner with the $5 super chat, celebrating my dirty 30 with the Lords.
Oh man, congratulations. Happy birthday. Let me take a sip of this hydration watermelon water. And this is not juice. This is straight watermelon water.
Let's give it go.
Let me see. I had to do like King now and start taking knees because time is taking my I know the feeling, my brother. I know the feeling. Hold on a second. We have Boogeyman with the $5 super chat. All hail Lord King David, the prophet who foretold of the ascension of Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer.
Yes, sir.
Then we have JD Gamer with the $5 super chat. All these Bethesda beggars in the street. Hashtag no fallout for Sony. No fallout for you. Phil is the game Nazi now. No fallout for you. Then we have Beaner once again with the $2 super chat. King ain't a prophet. He just smart and listens. Trying to take the title away.
You know. I see how close Mario is this week. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yo, you know what? I came in here and I found them hiding this in his little jumpsuit.
Hold on a second.
He's literally right beside him.
Look. He had this in his little jumpsuit.
He's like, whoo, yeah.
And that's why his hand is still like that. I was like, man, give me that. Get that out of your hand, you little weird dude.
He's like, hey, Bethesda. Let me see. We got more super chat. We got Tony Bryant with the $5 super chat. The Twitter Ether post was amazing. Yeah, it was definitely some Ether.
Thank you.
Then we have Night Music with the $4 super chat. Good morning to you as well, sir.
Yes, drink that coffee.
Then we have Mariano Pompa. Shout out to Mariano Pompa for putting me on blast on Twitter for not speaking more. Lord Sav, I want to hear from you today, dude. I'm hosting. How much more do you want me to talk? Because you're too quiet on Twitter. We all know today is King's show, so Sav and Addict, get your balls up before King takes over. Yeah, we have to put King in his rightful place. You know, he's gonna have his moment for sure. The wait is over. Then we have Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. How can you trust a man who can't look you in the eye? Jim stands moves Ryan eyes don't even line up. How is that a verse in the book of X?
Yo, that is so true. That's why I didn't trust Mark Cerny when I met him.
Yeah,
just a fact.
Yeah, Mark Cerny's the type. I don't know if it's personality, whatever, but he doesn't really like talking to fans of what I don't
know. He likes to spew his little magic words when he's standing in front of fake crowds at their little E3 thing.
He's like very high and by from when I met him.
Anyway,
so of course we have the king of the Iron Lords podcast, beloved. What's up, brother? What's going on? Did you have an eventful week, or was it?
This week was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But did I do the turn the beat around for Moon Knight? I did last week, right? Did I? No, I don't think so. No.
No, I think Mario was on it last week.
Let me see that Moon Knight. Wow. KOS is up right now. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you don't know about Moon Knight, I give a deep dive into who the character is, what he's about, how I learned about the character, and my admiration for the character, to be honest with you, why I chose to have him in my collection, and what is his meaning and what is his stance in my collection. So this week, Combat Talk. Oh my God. Oh, so let's real quickly, let's get through with the Jamel Charlo and Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo was on the undercard, and he's the middleweight champion, the WBC middleweight champion, and they're trying to do everything under the sun to get him off of that title, because he wants to rip off Canelo's head. So they had him fight Sergey Derevyanchenko, and Sergey Derevyanchenko is what we can say is the Russian hitman, assassin. He fought that guy, and they were pitching a war. It started to heat up by the second and third round, and I gotta say, I thought that was going to be Jamal Charlo's hardest test, and it proved to be so. Because Sergey was not moving. He wanted to fight. He wanted to engage. He usually throws 60 punches around, and Jamal usually throws 40 punches around. And it definitely bear fruit that he lowered Sergey's output while he was delivering hard shots. Did you get a chance to check out that fight, Sav?
I basically checked out the main events, both brothers. And yeah, like the fight with Sergey, like it was one of those things. Like I expected it to go the distance.
What up, dog?
Mic check.
Yes, sir. The boss is in the building.
Good morning.
I'm just still
here. Good morning.
I'm just
Good
still.
morning.
Good morning.
Burning the candle at both ends, sir.
Good morning.
Did you get a chance to watch any of those fights last night?
I saw the UFC.
All right, okay, so we're gonna get to you in a second. All right, so
You gotta be ready.
Yeah, so Sav, about the Jamal fight, what did you think about it?
I think it was a great test for him because, like you said, he's a hitman. So he's the type that he's kind of the gatekeeper. He is a gatekeeper of sorts. He's a dude that's going to take punishment and he's going to test your stamina. He's going to test every aspect of your game to see if you're ready to move on forward. And I think Charlo passed it with flying colors. And then, of course, his brother. I'll let you get into that fight before.
All right. So Jamel Charlo. He's really known as the smaller brother, and only because of the weight classes, right? Because they're twins, right? They're basically identical, except for the tattoos. You really have to see them with their shirts off, pause, in order to know who.
They really are identical, though.
They're completely identical, and their personalities are so much the same. And I thought this was going to be a huge test for Jamel. Because I thought Banana, Jensen Rosario.
Yeah,
his nickname is Banana. He's Dominican. He's a hard worker. He's a strong fighter from the Dominican Republic. He has great fundamentals. His jab, his right hand, his left hook, his movement is always spot on. Very, very decent power. Very underrated defense. And I thought that, because when he knocked out J-Rock, that showed me a lot in his repertoire, because how he moved around J-Rock and how he implied the pressure. So I wanted to see how Jamal will actually deal with that. And Jamel dropped him in the first round. I think he dropped him in the 5th round and finished him off in the 8th. And those punches that he hit him with, they were telling shots, because he has terrible power in both hands. He reminds me of Terry Norris.
Terrible Terry. I remember him.
Yes, and he has a chip on his shoulder.
Who got punched in the body and damn near died?
That was Jensen Rosario.
That's what he got punched in the body and it looked like he gave birth on the
Let me interrupt you guys for 1 second. Looks like we got a Lord visiting the realm.
The legendary.
I was like, well, they're talking about UFC. He's like, I like UFC. We could talk about that. I was like, come on through.
Lord, what's up, guys? What's up?
What's going on, man? We got the young Lord, the young gunner in the gaming industry analysis business, Lord Benji Sales, joining us. Thank you, sir, for coming in.
Did you get a chance to watch the fights yesterday or not? You watched UFC or the boxing?
Yeah, I watched the UFC. I didn't get a chance to see any of the boxing, but I did get a chance to see the UFC.
Okay. We're going to go into the UFC in one more second. We just finishing up. So, Sal, what was your take on Jamel?
Oh, he looks so strong, man. He looked so strong. He looked fast. He was the short check hooks inside in dirty boxing, and then also keeping the distance. And the fact that he finished it off with a body shot to the gut, not even a liver punch, a straight body shot to the gut. Both of these brothers, man, they've considerably gotten better. They've both taken their losses in stride and learned from them in ways that sometimes boxers don't do. Sometimes they don't come back from these losses.
He's the only one with a loss.
Yeah, that's right. The other way I remember it was
the other one is just actively trying to kill people. But go ahead.
but both of them have sort of faced adversity, whether it be in judging or whether actually losing a fight. So they've taken it in stride. They've learned. They've done what they're supposed to do. So sky's the limit for them both, man. It was good to watch a boxing pay-per-view first.
$79. In these economic times, they need to call.
Yeah, they got Sony game prices. What's going on?
Sony game prices. That's crazy.
We need a fight game pass. That's what we need. All right, so let's get into this UFC then.
Let's see, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, who's gonna do it?
I watched the last fight, so y'all can go in about.
Yeah, I watched the last two. Obviously, I'll start real quick. What was it? John Blachowicz, I can't pronounce his name, versus Dominic Reyes, and that surprised me, Saul, because after Dominic's performance versus John Jones, who you can make an argument that he could have won on decision or points, right? I felt he was the overwhelming favorite, right? There was no way I felt he would just not show. He looked like he didn't show up. And Jan, he really impressed me. Power in his hands, his setups, techniques. He was very aggressive. So it just I watched the fight and I was just very surprised that Dominic. I don't know if he didn't have that instinct in him, like he just couldn't push the button. I don't know what it was. And to see him finished, I'm like, wow. So that was my first take on that. And then I'll let Benji jump in as far as that fight.
Absolutely.
What did you think about that fight, Benji?
Yeah, it was really Jean showing his power. He always talks about after his fights his legendary Polish power.
Yes,
and it came through in that fight. He broke Dominic's nose badly. And the kicks to the body, the welts on the side. I think I agree with you that Dominic just didn't quite look like he showed up. He never looked loose to me. He always looked real tight. And I think he started feeling that power, and it made him even a little bit more gun shy than he kind of already was.
I've noticed like a lot of people that like watch UFC, they don't really grab a concept on how much that stuff hurts when you get hit in those areas. Like, they just act like, if it's not in the head, it's not for me. It's like it off. Especially when you get kicked in like the shin and stuff. Like that hurts so much, and people don't understand.
And you can't plant your foot, boy.
What do you guys think? Do you think this entices John for one more fight to come back and steal that
tweet out off? He put a tweet out.
He was being messy. He was being messy.
You come down right quick and get my belt back. And I was like,
wow.
And what's funny is
John. He never. And then John went on this this tear.
Right. But I think the reality is they probably want to set up for him versus Miocic, but Miocic, my understanding, needs more time. He's not ready. Yeah. And I don't think they want to put him versus Ngannou as his first fight. You know what I mean? So that could be at play. That could be.
Nobody wants to fight Ngannou.
Exactly.
Nah, man. Because Ngannou could can end your whole legacy in a fight.
Perfect shot.
And in fairness, Ngannou deserves a shot, right?
He does. He has
good patient. So shout out to Jan. Shout out to Poland in the building. First Polish champion. I thought that was dope. He was very happy. Let's get to that news.
Woo!
All right. Let's talk some style bender, y'all.
Let's catch up on these super chats because they're getting kind of ridiculous.
Don't worry, I got them.
Then we're gonna talk some style bender right quick.
All right. So let me go through. Let me see. I wrote them all down. Okay, we have the Black Prodigy with the $5 super chat. Yo, guys, can you imagine E3 next year? Sony would have to back out, bro. It would be a massacre.
We're going to get to that here in a minute, man. We're going to get to that here in a minute.
Then we'll have Gaming Forte with the $5 super chat. It's Sunday, people. Shout out to the best of the best podcast on Sunday. Thank you, my brother. Looking forward to hearing King untethered. Yeah. It's arguable that King is always untethered. Today is a special day. Let's say that.
You know how Cognito always tries to be in the middle? He can't be in the middle of that. He got an Xbox shirt on. Like,
easy. That's how rumors
check out his shirt.
That's how rumors speculation start.
There we go.
Oh my God, y'all.
Cognito, the corporate shill. You know how they do it.
He's been working on
vacation.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? Like, this is Cognito's vacationing in Washington. He feels the need to come the next day with the Xbox shirt on.
I think I got your third eye open. I don't know about that.
With the name start with a P and end with an S.
I don't know what I'm here for vacation.
Really a Spencer, maybe.
He's like, the next super chat is
moving along. Moving along.
We have Humble Beast with the $2 super chat. King 221, the imminent destruction of Pony Nation. We're adding scripture every day to the Book of X. And we have Humble Beast again with King 221. Okay, he did it twice. I did it twice. Squirrely Dan with the $2 super chat. Oh, here comes Mr. Steel. Mr. Steel, your girl soft. Hey, just wait till we swap out that other music. That's when it's really gonna get jumping. And we got Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. Anyone got a problem with the Book of X? Talk to me in color. No high sense talk. Oh my God!
Wow, that's a fact, though. He just shut you down. If you're not putting your numbers up there, we don't hear you.
You know what I've noticed? You know what I've noticed, King?
It does not count as scripture.
You know what I've noticed, King? These Xbox fans put their money where their mouth is. They are confident in their words.
Well, my God! Not for nothing. Due to Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, he has allowed them to save tons of money with Game Pass. So they do have extra money to spend.
They have disposable income.
Is that how they're going to start doing those commercials for Game Pass? Do you want to do more super chats? Subscribe to Game Pass and save money.
And we have
money with Game Pass.
We got the wise old gamer with the $5 super chat. Phil the Jim Ryan in his young Ralph voice. If you see me in the club, pull a dime up, then I'm walking to the bar with your main girl. I bought that.
Oh wow, bars.
That was bars.
Then we have Michael, aka Bethesda's Finest, with the $5 super chat. Keep my please. Give this ponies hell on God and them. All hell Xbox.
The realm is rowdy.
Rowdy this week. To be expected.
But why would they be rowdy? Nothing happened this week.
Nothing happened.
As I said, I have no idea why we're here today because it was a very boring week in the
very low news week, clearly.
Then we have Michael, aka Bethesda's Finest, again. What the hell? Hold on. I gotta move this over. Meant to say King give them hell. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I got you.
Then we have Tazuichi with the $5 super chat. Diego has to retire. Reyes was too cautious, and Costa waited way too much to save gas and got a clinic from Izzy. And that's the thing. Stylebender style hard. Costa, even though he was holding back, he was winded because Izzy was kicking the air out of him. So we'll let's get into this fight.
Yeah, I'll hold the super. Smith is next. Yeah.
No. Oh, you want one more, or should we get into it?
So we got. Let me see. After Tazuichi, we have
Smitty
Smith. We have
got
Smitty
a $5 super Smitty Smith. Lord Cognito is looking refreshed. Enjoy your well-deserved vacation.
I'm actually very tired, sir.
Then we have Nelson Nieves with the $5 super chat. You guys think that Skyrim should be the new face of Xbox instead of Halo?
They going in.
That's actually a real question that we might have.
No, it's not. Okay,
I don't know.
Do you guys think Luna is going to even compete with Xbox?
We're gonna get to that.
All right, so are you gonna talk about that card? Because I didn't put that in the title because
that's Cog's joint.
Okay.
That's fine. It's all good. Look, I'll make it real quick, man. Shout out to Stylebender. I mean, at the end of the day, coming into this fight, Benji specifically, I was nervous for him. Not just because I know Costa's style, and he. Let's be real. I know skill will win, but at the end of the day, that's a big boy. The amount of weight he cuts to make that division is absurd. Mm-hmm. So I looked at that fight and I said, okay, if Izzy has Romero performance, like it might not go well for him. You know what I mean? So I was looking at that, and it just comes to show like the precision, the style, the confidence, and then just chipping away, the leg kick, slowly breaking the boy down, picking him apart. And it just shows his striking is on another level. It's not even close. And, you know, all that basic rush tactics that I thought would affect Stylebender, it was almost an easy fight.
It was. It was. Yeah.
It didn't manifest itself at all.
Yeah, it didn't manifest itself. And to me now, it's like the sky's the limit. You know, he's gonna clean that division out. First of all, let's just get straight to the funny stuff, though. What was up with the disrespect after the win?
Okay, I can tell you,
give him the drive home after, like the disrespect.
You know why? Did you see the build up to the fight?
Yes.
All right, so the build up to the fight and then the background, because I was looking at a lot of the background stuff, because I was actually paying for that content. A lot of the background stuff, and I don't say this to say that he is racist. I don't know, but a lot of times, lighter skinned Brazilians are a little bit. They treat the darker skinned Brazilians a little bit, worse for wear. To be honest with you, right,
man.
It happens everywhere. All right,
to each other as well, which is disgusting, but.
Yeah, because a lot of my Puerto Rican heritage are my color. So leading up to that, it was like a little racial undertone to it, and then he was real dismissive of him, and he was being real cocky and real arrogant. Costa was in his stance towards. Oh my God, here we go. That's for me to get up now for the real. Right. So and then. He had to disrespect him in a form because he felt disrespected the whole fight. To keep his emotions in check the way he did, I commend the hell out of him because he kept to his game plan, and Costa kept trying to get him to open that shell.
Yes.
Did you see how his leg looked like my shirt at the end of that fight? The kicks was, and I'm glad there's no crowd, so you can really hear the impact.
Every time he got hit.
Yeah, he was setting them up beautifully. And like you said, the undertones under the fight, they were definitely there. Also, there were a lot of skinny kid undertones, like skinny guy, you're the small guy, like, and for people who don't watch mixed martial arts, and I'll give it to Benji and I'll finish, is that a lot of times you look physically at these athletes and you're like, if you don't know anything about the sport, you'll go, whoa, how is this guy even going to compete with this guy, right? And that's the beauty of mixed martial arts, right? All that muscle and all that weight, it don't mean nothing if you don't have technique. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have discipline. So I just thought it was a masterful fight for him. It definitely cemented him now as one of the top middleweights. He's, the sky's the limit. I think he wants to fight, Cannonier or whatever, possibly clean out division. And then there's still the super fight with Jones that he's interested in. Then he's even alluding to heavyweight. So he's in the driver's seat. I'll give it to Benji. What did you think? I saw a couple of your tweets. Like, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute masterclass. I mean, it was just... It wasn't even close at any point. There was no point of that fight that was. And I'll tell you what, leading up to it, I was picking Israel to win, but I thought it was going to be like a fourth or fifth round. I thought this fight was going to go late because I thought the early rounds, Costa might really pressure and give him a little trouble. I didn't think Costa was going to win, but I thought if you're going to beat Izzy, you got to get in on him. You cannot be at that range because he will just pick you apart. But shout out to Izzy. He just could not be cornered. The few times that Costa did try to rush him, he was just out instantly. Yes. And he just lit him up. It was one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. It was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Benji said, it was a master class. It's what I love to see in MMA when you have a dude that is kind of like Jones. Like Jones will take your own style and use it against you to show you that he's better than you. Izzy doesn't necessarily do that. Izzy just knows that he's better than you and he's going to beat you. He's going to beat you any which way he's going to do it, whether it's distance. And, I'm sure that his ground game and his grapple game is definitely underrated. He never has to use it.
I just want to say this one thing, and then I'll jump out of that part with it. He knows who was great before him.
Yes.
And he has studied all different styles. Because one, he came into listening to Nas. All right. So when I'm talking about he's studying greatness, he choreographs his entry in his head in his soul and his body. When he gets into the ring, when he does this stuff right here, and y'all probably think he's joking around, he's channeling his chi. Right, and he is getting to his center. So when he comes in listening to Nas, that's his inspiration music, because he has to live up to the greatness of this song, right? And then he already knows that Anderson Silva was the greatest before him, and he's trying to surpass that greatness, right?
Yeah.
Also, at the end, if y'all didn't catch it, he told y'all must have forgot, like the great.
Oh, he did the Roy. Yeah, I caught the Roy. I must have forgot.
Right. So when Roy was disrespected in that fight that he so-called lost, and Roy came in, you know, anytime Roy was disrespected, he put on a performance that was worthy. So this man went in with all these greats in him to give you this great performance. He broke down Costa in a way that Costa looked bewildered at the end, like, who the hell is this dude? But the biggest thing was he told Dana, and he put it on air, no more 30%.
I like that.
Wow. 90% if they don't make this weight, because Costa didn't feel like he had to make weight. And he thought he was going to have an advantage weight-wise going in, because these dudes use that. They have other things outside the ring to supplant that money. So if they lose a 30 grand here, they have a Nike deal or a t-shirt deal here or there to give them that extra money. So they don't care about making weight. So when you take 90% of their purse away, then they will start taking it serious. And I really respected him for that.
They give him an hour and a half to try to make weight afterwards?
Yes.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, even if you miss, they still give you an extra hour and a half.
Shout out to Kovic Nexus.
I'm calling time. Let's move on.
Let's get the rest of these super chats and then move on.
Let's get these super chats and we'll move on.
I just gotta say the last point is that he made a good point after the match. I didn't even realize 100 fights.
Yep.
And that, you forget, he is a kickboxer. He's been doing this for a long time. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to give that out there as far as the length of experience that he has. He's really not as young in the game as we think he is. But salute to Izzy, masterclass performance. And I'll let y'all get to it because Adam goes.
Adam's like, I don't want to talk about this no more. All right, we have Adam with the $5 super chat. Xbox didn't spend $7.5 billion to try and give up on their console. If their plan was full multi-plat, they wouldn't have made two consoles. Facts. We will talk about that. And we have Perfect Shogun with the $20 super chat, and Elder Scrolls through Wolfenstein After the Fallout. Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer says, your rage has dishonored you. Turn from the evil within. Pray on the like button and be spared from your doom.
Oh my God.
Poetry in the chat today.
Jesus.
Then we have Lonzo with the $5 super chat. Costa left the girl he came to the dance with. Aggression and pressure brought him success, and he abandoned it in the biggest fight of his career because he was afraid of getting dropped in 2 seconds. That's why. Because if he would have run in and Izzy would have pulled the Conor McGregor,
he'd have got blasted out there.
It would have been a problem. We have Tazuichi with the $5 super chat. Happens is most of Latin America have it in my family too. It's sad. Hopefully we can come together soon. We're on the same boat. Yeah, like I said, it is very disgusting, like the way and it's not everyone, but it happens a lot where lighter skinned Latinos will treat dark skinned Latinos like they're not they don't come from the same place. And it's like, really? Like, so everybody is in between. How do you figure they got in between? Like everybody that's brown like me, like everybody's brown like me. Somebody in my family is very dark.
Exactly.
It's a sad thing. It's, but it shows the state of the world, unfortunately. Then we have Bravo with the $5 super chat. When do you think Microsoft kicks the tires on possibly giving Halo over to id Software? Also, shout out to Benji. That is a very interesting question to have.
Yes.
Conversation to have.
I told y'all anyway, but y'all didn't listen to me. I told you when would potential become discussed, and I told you they always had this potential. They can never get this part right, or they can get that part right. Well, obviously now you have first-person gods in the house. So when do you look to the gods?
About to be lit.
Exactly. So we have one more. Somebody Smith with the $5 super chat. Israel broke down Costa like someone trying to get the crab meat out the shell. Wow, these analogies. Wow.
Analogies, bro.
Quite vivid. So before we get to Cog, let's go to Lord Benji. Benji, what you been up to, man?
Oh, not a lot.
Nothing at all.
It's been a slow news week. What can I say?
I respect that, Benji. You going along with the inside joke. I respect that.
No. I've been trying to keep up with the insanity the last week or two. It's like it almost feels like we can barely sleep right now because a brand new crazy story is going to drop every 6 hours. It's been crazy, but outside of that, just playing games, going to work, doing my Twitter, YouTube thing.
Okay. Thank you. I have to say, I had voted to never have you on again after the Final Fantasy slander last time. I was like, no, I can't have it. And then obviously I got outvoted. So
thank goodness. Hey, thanks to the rest of the crew to having my back.
Yeah, we got you, good. You don't pay attention to
we love you, sir. Lord Cog, how's VK, brother? How as VK winds down, what's going on?
Yeah, listen, man, it's been absolutely fantastic being out here. I mean, Washington, great state, great people. I want to make a couple shout outs, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Great Wall, Bill Stillwell himself. Got a chance to talk with that brother. Oh, man, the stories, just good times, good guy.
I'm envious.
He says his love, to the whole realm. We can talk tech for hours, and it's just great to see him moving on in his next endeavors. Tremendous stuff. Obviously, what's going on in the industry, which we'll talk about these topics. But,
nothing's going on, remember?
No, that's true. That is slow week. You are correct. So, and then I also want to shout out to Colt Eastwood of the RDX podcast, man. Got a chance to chop it up and finally meet him more than 5 minutes. Attic, remember they VIP'd us at E3 that year.
Yeah. We had to do the rollway. We had to wave our hands.
King and Colt were in the VIP section of going into the conference. Where me and Addicts were being shooed along with the commoners.
Yeah. Excuse me, myself. I was right there with you guys with the commoners.
Excuse me, do you have the green shirt on? You don't? Then you're gonna have to walk down the hallway, okay?
They had it was like 100 degrees out there, and they had a canopy for them, and we're baking. And mind you, all of us are hungover. All of us are over.
I said, excuse me, may I have some Perrier, please?
Yeah, they was passing the Palapa all.
King's like, can I get some orange juice?
Please, Pastor Jelly.
King's like, can I get some orange juice for my Commonwealth friend here?
Thank you to the graciousness of King for noticing us in that sea of commoners to call Eastwood and say, hey, please shake the hand of my associate.
Coach, where are my brethren? Say hello. Say hello, Coach.
And then Attic, remember security quickly broke that up and moved
you're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here.
Do not touch hands with them. They might exchange things. Please clean his hands.
Shout out to Cole, man. Such a good dude. Got a chance to really build with him and the Sam and just, oh man, good food, good drinks. Also, shout out to Bill Stillwell for putting me on the fried pickles. Those is amazing. Those
you
are
never had fried
pickles?
Didn't you have them when we went to have dinner with Megatron and you didn't have any of those?
No.
I never had them. Fried pickles are amazing. And then I want to shout out to that.
See, this is the BS. I'm gonna have to call BS on you. Hold on.
Where's the fraud light? Where's the fraud?
Yeah, we gotta get you with this because let me tell you something. I put you on the fried pickles long time ago when we was all Tim Dog, me, you, Megatron, Lemon. I know you didn't have it. I said, you said, what is it? What should I get? I said, make sure you get the fried pickles. You looked at me and was like, the hell I'm doing that for? But you get all the way out there with Bill and you want to be all, yes, I'll try.
I'll try it.
There's levels to this.
Bill said fried pickles is good. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, well, shout out, man, yo. Joyce buds going. Let's go.
Shout out to the Hollywood Tavern, man. Them Joyce is fire. So I had that. But also, the last but not least, shout out to Richard Fogy. Amazing time, formerly at the Undead Labs and stuff like that. Really got a chance to talk life with that brother. Really good guy. He's got a lot of stuff going on. Can't wait to discuss at a date when he's ready. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, and a lot of people shout out to Redmond campus and Jason Ronald and a lot of those guys.
Yeah, look at that shirt. Somebody has been compromised.
First off, that's an E3 shirt. That's an E3 shirt.
It was a lot of Microsoft money.
It's an E3 shirt. No, wait, no, King. I was joking. You trying to make it seem like we sold out? Yeah. Stop it.
I know for a fact the Iron Bank has not spent any money on travel expenses. Should I say?
Let me tell you something, man. Somebody's bankrolling this guy. He's a little refreshed. He's in a situation with a Microsoft. Hey, man, I'm just saying.
Next thing you know, he's gonna tell us he has that exact same phone they're sending out for the Xclouds.
Yeah. If you come back with a note, that's it.
Note 20 Ultra.
But all seriousness, man, watching it has been fantastic. It's great, but definitely miss you guys. Definitely can't wait to go back and be back home. Shout out to Delilah. She said I'm gonna need that restaurant list. I got you. Stacks is one of them. Amazing Stack 571, Hollywood Tavern, and then I'll give you another one that was really, really good. Oh, and shout out to Addict. Shout out to Jansen. Shout out to Jansen for pulling up. Addict's one of Addict's friends, old Xbox Live party member who we used to beef with. Like I used to beef with this kid. I was like, Addict, not put this kid in a party.
It used to be one of those things where I couldn't have them both in the same party.
Yeah,
I would have to manage who I'm in a party with.
It was on site. I was like, I don't like him. Like, I really get into it with people back in the day, but I used to get into it with this kid. And just to see his transformation and my transformation and just how we really connected and like are really.
Oh, he just actually saw you in person and was like, whoa, that's the dude.
Nah.
No beef. Like in the flesh. He looking like Costa in the flesh. Yo, how you doing? You want a tea? Crab?
Such a good dude. That was another spot we went to, man. Good times and just catching up.
Out there, I'm really pissed off.
Let's salute that. But yo, let's get into it.
No doubt. All right, let's get these super chats real quick. We have a Shazmati with the $5 super chat. Sony to Bethesda. Used to be my homie. Now you act like you don't know me. Then we have Enzo with the $5 super chat. Looking forward to all the Bethesda games coming exclusively to Xbox. We'll talk about that, sir. Michael, aka Best Size Finest, $5 super chat. Ponies can't make their mind up now. They want Xbox exclusives to come to PlayStation. Lord, these guys are nuts.
Yo, Mike from Stinger said they got Betcog in the flesh and said, "Time." Yo, I'm.
Then we have Smith with the $5 super chat. Colton Lord King was in the canopy with the gray poupon. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
I think that is it. All right, so for me, real quick, we'll round out. This week I finally got to play a little something.
Oh, we got to say thank you to whatever who gave us the $5, but you had to be deleted.
Oh no,
he read it.
I read that. I don't know why Smooth deleted that.
Honestly, it must have been something a little bit flagrant.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I
was going to pull Kid aside after the show and ask why he deleted that.
Oh, okay. So then tell him to put it inside the chat so we can read it.
No, he read it. He read it.
I had already read it.
You already read it. Okay.
He probably said something crazy after he did the super chat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
What's going on, bro?
Before we get into my real quick, Mexican Zoidberg with the $5 super chat. The day King stops making fun of TCLs is the day the world ends.
Oh, you gonna see? I got some TCL smoke today.
So y'all, like, the only thing I played this week, it is the new crack. If you guys have not heard how I spoke about Dead Cells, this is how I feel about this game. Hades. Yo.
Oh, Hades. Yeah. Fire.
Yo.
I've heard good things. I haven't played it, but I heard it's amazing.
Yeah, I downloaded it for Switch for the playing back, but you're talking.
Bro, it has that loop where it's just like, it has the super giant storytelling. It's probably their most polished game, and in terms of story, it plays. It's basically a roguelike, where you're constantly you're the son of Hades, and you're trying to escape the underworld because you're like, yo, I never died. Like, I was born here. I want to get out of here, and so the other gods in Olympus, sort of, they hear about your plight and they try to help you by giving you powers and whatnot to try to allow you to escape the underworld. So that's the loop. That's the gameplay. That's the roguelike loop. The thing about it is that it has a narrative that continues throughout that loop. in a way that I really haven't seen a game like this do before. It's really hard to do a consistent narrative in a game where the gameplay loop is individual runs. But it's like the voice acting, the storytelling, the gameplay, it's just tight, man. It is, if you love Dead Cells, and again, it looks differently, it plays differently, but it's that same feeling like one more run. Nice. It is a fantastic game. It's right. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's up there in my top couple of games of the year.
Wow.
It is that good. So that's what I did.
Let's get to it.
Let's get to the main event of the evening. And at the Iron Lords podcast, the main event always comes first.
And then we have to rush through the rest because the main event was so long.
Turn that light on the topic.
It's already on.
Oh, my man. There we go.
So, gentlemen, on Monday, one day before, pre-orders went up for the Xbox Series X and S. Early in the morning, we got a little message from our friends at Xbox welcoming the fine folks from Zenimax and Bethesda into the Xbox family. All I could say throughout the entire day was "yo," that was the first yo. So we'll start with Benji first. Benji, this is what I want to get from everybody. What were your initial reactions? Like immediately, where were you when you heard that? That's gonna be the thing. Where were you when this happened?
The biggest purchase in gaming history.
Before we give it to Benji, I want to frame it with another thing too.
Oh, of course.
In the sense of, obviously announcement, and then we have Bethesda. The Xbox tweets out Bethesda is an incredibly talented studio of over 2,200 people, and then they show these are the people worldwide that make up the studios, and it's Bethesda Studios, id Software, Zenimax Online, Arcane Studios, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, and Roundhouse Studios. And then for clarity, Xbox continues to tweet, these amazing teams are responsible for iconic franchises like The Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout, Wolfenstein, Doom, Dishonored, The Evil Within, Prey, Raid, Quake, and Starfield. So this is the information that's like hitting us. So I'll give it back to you, Saul. Give it to Benji.
You're right. I think what everybody's is used to just calling them Bethesda, right?
Yes.
You don't stop and think about what that signifies until later on in like the post. You're like, wait a minute, they just upped their studio count from 15 to 23 in one fell swoop. That's kind of bonkers. So again, Benji, what did you feel when you first heard about it? What were your feelings as you sort of absorbed the information later on? And what do you think this means moving forward?
Yeah, so for me, I literally woke up in bed. I look at my phone because, like a lot of people, it's the first thing I do in the morning. Unfortunately, I look at my phone, and literally the first thing I see, I hit Twitter, and just everywhere I'm seeing Xbox Bethesda, and I'm like, at first I'm not believing it. I'm like, there's no way. What? Like, we're starting off the morning where Xbox has acquired Bethesda. So it took a couple minutes for it to truly process what was going on. And the price, I mean, $7.5 billion. You see something like that, and you're like, my goodness, it's the second biggest purchase, like dollar-wise, ever in the gaming industry. The only one bigger than this was Tencent buying Supercell, which was over $8 billion. But this is the second biggest of all time. And it's the first time Microsoft bought a publisher, right? We'd seen them by developers. We'd seen them by people that I would say some of them were surprises, but some of them weren't, like Playground. When we got an announcement like that, it's like, makes sense. This, though, was a whole nother level. So, my first thoughts were, oh my goodness, like the fact it was all of Zenimax, like it's not just they poached one studio away, they got, one or two, like it's all of them. Like you said, now we're up to 23 studios. It's completely insane. I mean, it makes sense. It's a giant price tag, but I think it completely makes sense with their strategy with Game Pass moving forward. I'm guessing we're going to go into the whole exclusivity talks later. So I'll wait to talk about that because I'm going to have a lot of opinions on that. But that was just some of my kind of initial thoughts whenever I saw it go down was, wow, this is a different level than anything we'd seen before.
Absolutely. So let's go with Addict next, because Addict was in our chat. I don't know if Addict was sleeping at the time or whatever.
I was sleeping.
Yeah, Addict was
He
sleeping.
was initially quiet, and I was surprised.
I was trying to call Addict multiple times.
Yeah, I woke up. Let's see. What's funny is, okay, I woke up. Actually, I was sleeping in the living room at that time because when my mom stays here, she sleeps in my room. So I'm sitting there. I wake up. My phone's dead at this time. So I get up. I charge it. And then I'm sitting there looking at him. Then the first thing I see is Kid Smooth. He sends me a tweet. And he says, "I need a thumbnail now." And I'm sitting there looking at it. I don't click the tweet. I go straight to my room because I'm like, I need to make this thumbnail. So I sit down. I pull up Twitter. I go up there and I look, and I was like, and then I see people constantly tweeting. Like, most of the time I get like, the 20 plus notification thing on Twitter when I wake up. But this was different because I clicked it. And I unclicked it, got something to drink, came back, and it was there again. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, what is going on? And I see Cognito keeps tweeting me in this thing from Obsidian that has Obsidian making like the GIF sound like this. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and at first when I read it, I was like, they don't own that. They can't do. Why is people tagging me in this? So I'm sitting there, and then I go back to, okay, let me make the Kid Smooth. This is like 10 minutes being up. All right. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and go to Twitter and make this thumbnail. So I click on the messages. I click on the actual tweet this time that Kid sent me. And then I kid you not, I went like this. I was like, oh my God. And I'm sitting there. I say it like 5 times. My mom's behind me. She's like, oh, is something wrong? Is something wrong? I'm like, it has nothing to do with you. I was like, I'm sitting here like, I'm in shock. Like, I'm in straight up shock because people need to realize this is something when it's brought up, we talk about it for 5 minutes and be like, yeah, but that's impossible. That's never going to happen. And we just keep it moving. Like this is one of those topics on a podcast you don't even talk about because it's so absurd. And to notice that it happens, I'm just like, it's like hit me like left and right. I was like, okay, they bought Bethesda. I was like, did that mean they only own Skyrim? And then I see that thing that Phil Spencer posted with all of them. I was like, they own Dishonored? Like, I'm sitting there like I'm getting hit with so much. Like I was literally speechless. I had nothing to say. Well, first thing I did is like, I want to see the world burn. Let me go check out Twitter. I literally sat at my room just doing this for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of the reaction. Like, let me go next. I want to set up. I want to Cog and King.
Let's go, Saul. Where you was at?
So I was at work as I tend to be, and I was like, right before Cog posted it in our chat, I saw it. So I didn't even get a chance to put it in the chat. So I saw Cog put in, I'm hearing that they bought Bethesda, and I'm like, it's true. I was like, again, like I said, I was literally just saying the whole day. Like, this is as big a power move as I've ever seen. Dude, they removed an E3 press conference off the table. Like
that's what Ryan said. Ryan said this is equivalent to you going to E3 and you watching one of these conferences, and it's like Microsoft was watching an old press conference. Just go ahead and call them. Just buy the whole thing. We want all of that.
Like, they better let Bethesda be Bethesda, man. They better let them make their
show. You got to talk about the aftermath, King. That's my favorite press conference.
That's that right there. Don't mess with that one.
That is kind of true. They have the best part.
But they could probably teach Microsoft how to. Oh my God!
That theater.
Shout out to 600 people in the chat, man. Hit that like button if you guys don't mind. Let's try to get that up. Right,
everybody came for the smoke today. I'm sure. I'm sure.
I got a lot of messy followers.
So, this when I stopped to think for a second, this is still kind of my reaction. When you've been following Microsoft, like all of us here have from the very beginning when they entered the gaming space, right? It was always strange to me that a company that's this big and powerful was playing the underdog role in the gaming space. And it's always been that way. And it's just because of the attachment people have to the Sony brand, and rightfully so. And even, 20 years on, it's still kind of the same way. But if you look at the moves that they've made up until now, none of them compares to this. Well, we made jokes in the chat about, putting the meat on the table. They made a move that their competitor can't do. Correct. They just can't.
What's funny is someone put in the chat, they said Microsoft literally spent what Sony made last year in profits.
their whole budget.
Their whole budget they spent on one company. Like
somebody's little slush fund.
Oh my Lord.
I'm gonna get dirty today.
I know you about to get messy. I already know. Please,
you put that in perspective, it really is indicative of yet again like another sort of paradigm shift, and we'll talk about the details about that in a minute. But let's go to Cog next.
Yeah, I mean, this is, man, like these are, as a gamer, there are moments, right? There are moments like, where were you when this happened? Where were you when this system announced? Where were you with this major? Like, this is beyond just, a smaller individual acquisition. When you buy Bethesda, and the thing that's great about this is twofold. One, we all know Bethesda's history. You know what I'm saying? It follows those quality, epic, single player, for the most part, experiences. And they just have a cachet. King, me and like we go to those Bethesda conferences.
Boys.
These are not suits. These are gamers, right? Who have a passion for this, right? And there's this level of quality. And I wish Anchorman was here today, actually, because
Todd Howard.
He's the biggest Bethesda fan I know.
I told you
that's
Todd
the biggest thing.
I told you Todd would bend that knee.
Yeah,
that's
so Anchors, I want my knees. Send those knees over there, buddy.
That people don't know this about me, but I used to be a huge Bethesda fanboy, like absurd. And like I'm a huge fan of Todd Howard. Maybe not quite as bad as Anchorman, but I remember like when that video showed up afterwards, the video interview with Major Nelson, Phil Spencer, Peter, and Todd Howard, and I remember thinking, this is real, because I remember like watching the Skyrim trailers, and Todd Howard is like with GameStop was like, "This is a dragon," like, and I remember that resonating with me, and I'm like, and I'm thinking Todd Howard's part of Microsoft now, like that's crazy.
It's one of those moments. It's you sit back and you say, "Wait a minute, did that just happen?" Is the entire Zenimax? All of these students, and then you start to think of the major stuff first, right? You start to think of Elder Scrolls. Then you're like, wait a minute, Microsoft owns Doom now? Microsoft owns this now? And it really
Wolfenstein.
All these IPs, right? So I want to shout out to Boom. He was one of the first calls. Anchorman, one of the first calls, and they're like, Cog, it just went down. And for me, the immediate feeling I felt, Saul, was like, we all sat there last generation and said, okay, are they truly going to commit? Is Microsoft really good? No disrespect to any studio they've purchased right now, but we all felt if Game Pass is going to be the play, the Achilles heel, so to speak, was AAA quality games in the service. And no disrespect to Microsoft's current first party, but that was the argument used against it. Like, if I'm going to get Game Pass, I don't want filler and I don't want all indie games. So if you look at what they've acquired, you start making scenarios in your head theoretically, right? Like, they could have bangers just lined up,
like literally.
And the crazy,
1 month, like literally like 1 month. Like,
the crazy thing, if you think about it, man, it's like, we're sitting here, we've been talking about Bethesda for like 2 weeks, it feels like. And it's like, we forgot about the initiative. We forgot about Compulsion. We forgot about Undead Labs. It's like I said last week. Bethesda's studios could literally like pull a whole console into existence. Like, let's say Amazon comes out and they're like, let's buy Bethesda. Their games could keep their console afloat.
Absolutely.
And Microsoft has that and their actual games.
The thing about it is, how much of an Obsidian fanboy I am. So I'm like, wait a minute, they can work together. Then you start thinking,
we can make Fallout New Vegas too.
You can have Doom and Halo together. Like you can have these out. It almost felt like if you're a sports team, like this huge free agent acquisitions, and you're like, yo, this is all on one team. Like, this is a dream team, so to speak. So it just, like I said, it was really cool. You start thinking of possibilities. You start thinking about the commitment to gaming. And it was truly amazing. And like I said, it's one of those situations. We'll get into the exclusivity. We'll get into all that other stuff in a minute. But it's one of those situations where the second thought I had was, I got to speak to King.
Because
what was I still asleep at this time?
you were still asleep. We were like, "Yo, King, you gotta put up a video," and he was like, "Yeah, I'm on it."
He has been on his square with Phil Spencer. We all know it. The name Phil Dominus Maximus, soon to be. King gave him a really good last week or 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
so
when he gave the price and power.
Right, when you gave the price and power. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if I would have gave it to him then,
This
but I
is when
feel
he
where
gets
King
it.
is at.
This is when he gets it.
Right, but then I'm like, when I see this level of a move, and y'all know who my guy is, right? I'm a Peter Moore guy. I've always been a Sega kid. I felt that generation was one of the glory generations for Xbox. But I'm sitting there, I have to admit, I couldn't think of a move, a single move, with one fell swoop. Someone swung their sword, and it's like, yo, here's some King. I'm just gonna stop talking.
Yeah, I felt the same way because it was like, yo, you know, the Peter Moore pull up the sleeve GTA 4 move. Like
the moves I remember for Phil. Yeah, when Peter would pull the sleeve up, GTA exclusive, a singular title, which was epic for its time.
For sure.
But nothing to this magnitude.
He didn't go by
It's a
Rockstar.
whole new level.
There's levels to it, and it pains me to say it because I'm such a fanboy for Peter Moore, but I gotta give it to my man King right now. King, I'm done talking. Like, let's get into it, man.
Let's go, King. We have the laurels, we have the toga. Let's go.
And I've officially clicked on your name. You have the floor.
I was y'all want to get the super chats?
As a matter of fact, yes, let's do that before we get to King. As a matter of fact, first off, let's welcome to the realm Lord Jarrell Johnson. Welcome, sir, and thank you for the support.
Probably a relative of mine.
And hold on, let me get back to
we had Smitty Smith, I believe.
Right? Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. Microsoft pulled off some galactic power move-ish. Yes, this is very Thanos-ish. This is very in that realm. Then we have Pixelbit G with the $2 super chat. Play with the bull, get the horns. Hashtag the Book of X. New scripture every day. Then we have Humble Beast with the $10 super chat. Do you know what rhymes with Pony Station Nation?
Oh God,
logical fallacy citation, cognitive dissonance solicitation, inbred transmutation representation. Jesus. Oh my God!
Wow.
Brain degradation, ingrained vegetarian. Hashtag PS exclusive. Wow,
what's going on?
That's crazy.
Yeah. Ooh, somebody's drinking early. Then we have Lord Timur with the £2 super chat. EA was the one of the Zenimax thoughts.
I was
I'm so glad.
Yeah, they in Game Pass.
I'm so glad Microsoft bought them.
They realized that their money wasn't long enough. They in Game Pass.
If EA bought Bethesda, that would have been horrible.
We just brought EA right after for $10 billion. Thanks for having on our light work, shorty.
Okay, we have a dissenting opinion here with Thomas Whitaker with the $5 super chat. If y'all keep up with King's damage control, thrash, he needs to be broken down and taken to task. Fanboyism embodied.
Okay, I just want you to stick around so I can lash you. Stick around. Thank you, though. I really, you know what? I really appreciate it because we welcome everybody's opinion.
For sure.
And at no point we're going to suppress what you're going to say. And you can agree with me or you don't have to agree with me. You know, sometimes you can walk in the light and sometimes you can stay in the dark. But right now, I'm going to shine some light on you. I got you, baby.
It's all love. As long as everybody keeps it respectful, we don't.
Yeah, I love that.
Say what you gotta say. We love it all. We love it all. We got Gaming Forte with the $2 super chat. I was wiping the cold from my eye when I saw it. Yeah, it was early. Then we have Best Stars Finance with the $5 super chat. Microsoft spent $75 billion. Sony fans don't realize that they spent more money than what Sony profits in a year on God and them.
They should be messy today.
We spend what you had in your bank account.
They made the move that their opponent just can't make. They can't follow you there. They just can't.
They can't climb that mountain.
Shout out to Senjutsu. Let me get Senjutsu. Yeah, I was this close to buying Bethesda and Zenimax, and then Microsoft went and beat me to the punch. But I am not mad.
We do have another. We have a couple of the realm. We have a member of the realm.
Hold on a second.
Gerald Johnson.
No, I got that.
We got that first.
Okay. I got that first. I got it before. We have Clutchman with the $5 super chat. Didn't Mikey Barra join Bethesda? If so, does that mean he works for Microsoft again?
No, he joined Blizzard. You know how crazy it would be if you leave Microsoft and they buy your company?
You get away and get fired.
No doubt.
That would be hilarious.
No, we got a couple of more. We have Kid Smooth with the $20 super chat. Xbox buys Zenimax, Bethesda, and all its studios, IPs, etc. PlayStation is actively keeping third-party games off of Xbox, thus keeping them off of Game Pass. And Xbox is expected to put first-party games on the PlayStation because of goodwill. We will talk about that. That is the very next topic.
Matter of fact, Kiss Move has a hell of a video up. Please go check out that video after this.
Yes, sir.
So then we have Seafood Poetic X Initiative with the $5 super chat. This is a move to get ready for war. I'm sure your third topic will cover those other giants that are set to announce major moves in 2021. Yes, and I think we're all caught up.
Yeah, we're all caught up. So I just said it to King. Like that was my thing. Like, you know, he was the first person that came to my mind. And again, he has been instilling the Phil Dominus Maximus Spencer narrative for a long time. Showing
Aurelius,
and you know what's funny? People would always be like, "Is King gonna bend the knee?" Or, you know, in past experiences, like, no, he's just gonna double down. That's what I've said every time. He's gonna double down.
That was the first one because his faith in this man has been unwavering. Even when you know, it's one of those like Transformers, like light our darkest hour. It was the darkest hour for a lot of last generation. It was the first party stuff. So King, the floor is yours. Like,
let's get the super chat to clear this up.
Wait, we gotta get King.
No. This is an important super chat.
All right,
we got a $5 from the Ill Realist. He said, "Dude was talking about King Thrash. Punctuation was off. He wasn't talking about King. He was talking about
King. Sorry.
That's why I wanted to get that. Before King went in on that.
No, I wasn't gonna go in on him personally. You spend your money. You wasn't being rude or anything like that. So I'm not going in on you like that. That's not gonna happen. You just have a different of opinion. But I thank you for clearing that up. I do appreciate that. And you could have just put it in the chat also. Sometimes you don't have to clear something up by spending extra money just to clear it up because we'll see it if you just at one of us, you know? Because listen, I understand. I was jogging. I was in my 8th or 9th mile at this time, and my phone was going bananas. I got a text first that said, "Oh my God," from Boom. So I'm like, and then I have the headphones on, and I pick up the phone call. Boom! It's like, "Oh my God! Oh my God! He did it! He did it! He's Aurelius! You're right! You're right!" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Microsoft more Bethesda!" And
he said it like that.
Yeah, it's like Bethesda, like a Japanese movie, like so I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yes, you. I told you. Oh my God!" Right? So, dude, you will not, dude. Right? So I'm like, "Calm down, Boom. Talk to me, man." He's like, "Yeah, they brought them for 7-point-something billion. Oh, go check it out." All right, so I'm jogging. This is the hardest last 5 or 4 miles that I had left because I do the 13. So I'm reading it as I'm jogging. I'm like, "Yo, that's my guy."
Yes.
I said, I got laughed at when I gave him Dominus. I got laughed at when I gave him Maximus. And I got laughed at when I said soon to be Aurelius. Everybody's like soon to be irrelevant.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
The slanders?
I mean, I had people that I never met on podcasts that had a level of vitriol for me because of my fandom towards Microsoft.
Right.
And I know fan is short for fanatic, and sometimes it may seem like, "Oh, this guy, how are you gonna call another man Dominus?" I said his moves is dominating. His moves is Maximus. His moves are Maximus. Aurelius is golden. So that move is golden. When I told you that he was going to put them in a kill box, see what it is, it's very different when you're an individual given all the tools.
Right.
But when you're given limited tools, limited resources, and you have people actively trying to destroy you from within your own company, and you have to navigate that to succeed.
What's that whole line? How to move in a room full of snakes
without getting bit?
Without getting bit. Let's talk about it. Terry Myerson, Don Matrick errors. Let's talk about it, King.
The man was a literal worker and ascended to the highest of, I guess, and this is probably not his highest aspiration. See, when y'all didn't understand why I gravitated towards him and why I picked him. When I spoke to him, he exudes something that I have inside of myself. An unsatiated hunger to achieve. And only real can recognize real. So if you looked at him and you thought he was fake, then you were seeing something else. Right. You were seeing a reflection of yourself in something else. Right. But when I saw him, I said, oh, he's the real deal.
I said, a lot of people, not to cut you, King, but a lot of people, even myself, but I got to bet a knee to you on this, is that we all love Phil, right? We think he's great for the job. But I think the issue that I needed to see was the killer.
I'm addressing that.
And this was something different.
Shout out to Grind My Gears, because you've never been back. You put me to task and you yell, oh, they putting Halo inside pachinko boxes and all this goofy stuff that you was going on with. And oh, Phil is too nice. How nice is he now? I told you he's not nice. But see, there's a different level of tact and level of sophistication that you must exude when you're making your moves. You must build allies instead of building dissension. So you want him to run inside the room and tear everything up where he can actually get allies to help him, turn the crowd in your favor to move as a team and a unit and remove the individuals that aren't worthy. Did you notice that after certain individuals was removed from key spots, he ascended faster?
He's at the table. He's at the table for sure.
Now, the purchase.
Yeah, let's get it.
I told y'all they had studios that was coming. Did not know about this. Heard about this before, right? So I'm hearing about the little ones that they're talking about. I heard about those things. This fits every need in one swing of the sword.
Facts.
And this is overpaying. Okay? Because they weren't worth $7.6 billion. That's the equivalent of you going through a drive-through, you're getting a burger and some fries, it comes up to $9, $10, and you give them a $20 bill and say, keep the change. That means you don't want anything wrong with your meal. That means that you just want to get your stuff and go. And you even being there is a hindrance on your soul. Do you understand when they went into the room, they probably said, okay, well, we're at 7.6. Is that enough?
They threw the 20 on it.
Is that enough? Is that enough to get this done? Because I got a boat that I got to be on.
Yeah, there was multiple bidders going on at once for this.
And they shut them all down.
Yeah.
Because they said, oh, that's too rich for my blood. They did this right before pre-orders went live.
One of those things you see in the auctions where, you know, they're voting and someone comes out there and someone's like, $500, so $15,000.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. You shut it down, you get what you want. You get what you want and you need. All right, so the acquisition is not Bethesda. Stop saying Bethesda. They brought the building. They didn't go in there and brought buy one shirt, one t-shirt, a pair of pants, and some socks. They didn't go get an outfit. They went and brought them all. They shut down the mall and said, what do you want? I want everything. I want the light fixtures. I want the foundations. I want the urinals. I want it all.
And I want the urinals.
And I'm locking it off from everybody else. And this is for my peoples only. So if they don't have this ID walking in the door, they ain't for them. So when I told you he was gonna do this to you, stop poking the bear, stop making Microsoft be Microsoft. Well, this is Microsoft being Microsoft, and Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer has done it to you. Now we're gonna get into the other stuff.
We'll get to other stuff. And the thing too is I want to add on. Is that to make it, it's kind of funny because it's like last generation, you know, the infamous meme, we all know, right? You know, Benji's heard it, everyone's heard it. You know, when it comes to Microsoft, you know, great hardware company, but no games, right? That's the infamous meme. And it's just so funny in one fell swoop. Where did we go from? We went from, what is it, 13.
They turned to Arby's. We
Now
got the meat.
from 15 to 23. We have the meats.
We got the meat.
Before we go on to the next topic with is games gonna be exclusive? I do have one question for you guys. Sure. I want to start with Benji. Do you think that Sony has to react to this? Not necessarily, we need to buy something right now, but do you think this purchase, people over at Sony's like, okay, we gotta buy something. Like, we got to increase our studio count because, to me, especially since they bought Bethesda, I feel like you're going to get to a point where the quality and quantity of Microsoft is going to surpass Sony if they keep up with the output that they have right now. What do you think about that, Benji?
Before I give it to Benji too, didn't Sacha also say they're still not done?
Oh, they're not done. They're not done.
But continue. Go ahead, Benji. I'm curious about Benji's thought process.
Yeah, so to not go too insider info here, Sony has been shopping. Yeah, there are studios they are currently talking to and have been talking to. So the short answer is yes, they do need to respond. But it is something that they are actually right now currently trying to do. Right now, we are in a seller's market. There are a lot of studios that are going to be acquired over the next 5 years, all across the board. Microsoft's buying more, Sony's buying more. Will not be surprised if you see Amazon and Google buy some people. So yeah, we're in consolidation phase right now for the gaming industry. Doesn't mean like everyone's going to be bought. I see some people like panicking, like, oh my goodness, there's going to be no one. It's going to go down to 3 companies. No, don't worry. It's not going to be like that. We still are going to have tons of massive publishers. There's going to be a lot of indie. There's going to be a lot of variety. But, we are in the middle of the consolidation phase right now. I see a lot of people talk about like, oh, is that something in the future? Like, no, it's happening right now. Microsoft by themselves have acquired so many. You have to remember the Insomniac purchase was not really that long ago in terms of time. Like, we're in the middle of it right now, and it's not ending anytime soon. So if I was Sony, I definitely would swoop in and lock down those partners that you have a relationship with. I would be securing Kojima Productions. I would be securing Bluepoint. I would be securing Housemarque. Like, these companies I would lock down, because here's the thing. If you don't, you do run the risk that someone else is going to. There's a lot.
It might not even be necessarily Microsoft that would buy.
Yeah, exactly. There's some big companies entering the gaming space right now with a lot of money. So I see it as one of those things, like not like a panic buy, but like securing. Like, hey, we have a good relationship, just like what happened with Insomniac. We're going to lock you down just to make sure someone else can't come in with a $7 billion paycheck and buy you out. So
that's the thing. I think that's why this type of acquisition can happen right now, because like you said, the space is getting more and more crowded, whether it's with actual consoles, whether it's cloud, and we'll talk about Orion a little bit. It's the gaming space period is getting super crowded, and you have all of these companies have to look for differentiators for their product. So you're going to see Amazon purchasing. You're going to see Stadia purchasing. And it's like the big 3 in traditional gaming have to be careful, because I think it's even more protecting from that than protecting from themselves, right?
Yes.
I know Phil has always really been about, kumbaya, we're all working together, this, that, and the other. Obviously, this move says something somewhat different. But at the same time, I do think that when they look at the impending sort of attack from Amazon and Google, you do have to sort of say, hey, we have to protect this space that we're in. This space
you can say he says kumbaya, but if he doesn't look at you as a threat,
it's very easy for him to put his arm around.
You can play fun and games with your little kid brother.
Oh my God.
He looked at Nintendo and y'all laughed at him before, like, what? You're not looking at us as competition? No. If he's spending your whole budget in a burger deal, get out of here. Like, you really don't really understand what he did.
And that's
you're not a threat.
It wasn't hyperbole when he said, like, we're not in competition with them. It really wasn't. And the crazy thing about it is that when you think about like the Insomniac purchase, the Spider-Man in the Avengers, even the Final Fantasy 16 exclusivity, this dwarfs it all, and all of those things are cool, but it really does dwarf it in a way like it's not in the same league. It's like, oh, how you got Spider-Man, how nice for you, like, it's like it immediately those moves felt like that to me. Like it's insane. It really is insane what this means.
And you know, it's like I said earlier. It's like I'm with Benji. I don't think they had to panic buy, but I do think this is something they have to keep in mind going to next generation. They have to look at a couple of scenarios that they're like, okay, these people can come at any time and be like, yo, after you finish that game, here's $1 billion, you ours, you ain't theirs anymore. And you know, and I'm not even looking at Microsoft, I'm looking at Google, I'm looking at Amazon, and I'm just like, you know, Blue Point, they do a lot for them. They need to secure that company. You know, Kojima Games, I'm not about that with that Benji, but you know, that's fine.
I still would, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Even if Death Stranding wasn't a huge seller, they're a team that has proven they can make a AAA project. And I'm telling y'all, this kind of stuff is going to be so valuable moving forward. The thing is like, we don't really know how invested Google and Amazon are right now, right? We just don't know. Like, we know that they're trying some stuff out with Stadia, whatever. The risk you run with these companies is they have FU money. Like, they can come in if they want. You know, we don't know. We truly don't know how far they're going to go down this road. But if they want, they can buy anyone they want to. So that's the risk you run. Is once the tech giants got involved, it's a whole different ballgame.
It's a whole different ballgame now. And
and the crazy part is, it's like I said, like Sony, they have to look into the future. They got to know that regardless if some of their studios have a better quality than everything Microsoft has, like the fact that they can pop out really quality games consistently a lot faster than Sony is going to eventually catch up to them. So they have to make that as equal as possible before going on. They can't wait like 2 years. Like I would expect within 6 months to a year, they'll announce they bought a studio, at least one. Like, because this isn't something small. Like, this isn't like they went to like an indie publisher and bought all those. They bought Bethesda.
They bought Zenimax.
Well, Zenimax, you get what I'm saying.
No, you got to say Zenimax.
Oh my God, they technically bought Bethesda too. They bought Zenimax that owns Bethesda. They bought the both. We both right. All right.
No, I'm just saying. Everybody keep talking about a T-shirt. You keep talking about an outfit. You got to talk about the store.
Okay.
They went and bought the store.
Fine. They did.
Everybody want to minimize. See, this is what I know. That the Sony
they bought all the stores in the mall.
It.
They didn't just buy one store. I get you.
Yeah, but you know, the Sony contingent likes to minimize. They brought Bethesda. No, brother, they brought everything. They brought everything that you love. I don't like Skyrim, but you love Doom. Got that too. So you got to understand, they purchase everything. Everything is something in that box that you love, and you're never gonna get it. It's over for you.
And that's one
box. You better make sure that you go out there and get your Xbox Series S. Go get it.
Let's transition now.
Let me finish one statement. Okay. You know, when we were hearing about the WB stuff, I was excited about that. But, you know, it was more for, I think it could be good for the brand besides, like, the Shadow of Mordor. I really like that game. But I wasn't, like, excited about their games because I don't really care about their games like that. But when they bought Bethesda, the thing that I really enjoy about them buying Bethesda is what is the key thing that everyone says that Microsoft needs. We need more adult-rated games. We need more games that don't look childish. Bethesda only makes hardcore games.
Yeah, almost all of them are M. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Did you guys see the leaked screenshot from Starfield?
Yeah,
I saw one.
There's two. Yeah. There was technically two. And what I enjoy about this is, you know, they got these studios. At the end of the day, what I really, really mess with this is they have games that they don't have to rely on just Halo anymore. They got Elder Scrolls, which is arguably one of the biggest franchises in the industry. They got, you know, Fallout, which, you know, Fallout 4 and 76 kind of hit it a little bit for me, but it's still a very big contender. And they got Doom, which in 2 games, Doom has become one of the most dominant first-person shooters ever made.
Let me even interrupt you with that. What's exciting about it is even towards if you want to make an argument and say, well, some of these franchises are on the decline, right? The issue that I like, the possibilities that excite me, is the fact that now Microsoft is adopting this strategy of all the studios collaborating with tech and ideas together. And that's something that Sony does so well. So just the idea of Bethesda. Even Todd Howard said it. Like they're upgrading the Starfield engine. Like they had to make changes and stuff for next gen for what they want to do now. So what I like is the thought of Bethesda having a budget and being free to create, right? With this big powerhouse behind you back. Those things excite me as a gamer because let's be real, you know, we can sit here and we can celebrate, but there were some issues with some Bethesda games. And we gonna lie.
They coming hot. They coming real hot.
Like 4 or 5 years. We're gonna keep it up. But the excitement is now you've got, like King said, like got Phil behind. He bought the ball. So it's like, okay, what do you need? Okay, do you need someone to help you with your water? Let me introduce you to Rare. You need someone that's gonna, you know, help you with these specific aspects of AI or whatever. And it also works vice versa, right? Because we look at 343. We say, fam, you may need a little help with your engine.
You need a little help with everything. Let's fix it all.
Let me send you down the hall to id Software and let me get you guys in the room and you figure out how to do it. It's just the collaboration potential is so exciting as a gamer. It's so cool to see. And and like to King's last point, it's like it's delivering on the promise. Everyone wanted to know how truly committed is Microsoft. How true when you throw $7.5 billion on the table. That's a level of commitment the Xbox base needed to see, and that
make you feel secure, make you feel happy in your purchase.
Yeah, and I do think that's one of the biggest things people really need to bring up.
I think that's why Japan doubled down.
Is the fact that, you know, we might have collaborators we never would have had without this. I doubt we'll see a Halo and Doom collab where, you know, Master Chief and what's the dude from Doom called? The
Doom guy.
Doom guy. Oh, okay.
It's a Doom man.
You know, the Doom guy and Master Chief is as much as of an epic move that is. That just the sound of that on paper, which, you know, might not necessarily happen, but you know it can. 2 weeks ago that was completely unrealistic.
Exactly.
But, you know, before we go on to the next one, you know who's benefiting the most from this?
Who?
Rare and Sea of Thieves. They about to make so many cells, so many boats.
So many boats.
Yeah. You think about it because they add the Orion and all that other stuff. Yeah. Let's get these super chats.
Can I get in one really quick? I just wanted to say something that caught my eye to piggyback off all the tech talk we were talking about there for a second, where people could like share stuff with each other. I sent a tweet out like a little bit after like I processed everything, and I was like, wow, this opens up idTech 7 for Microsoft's first party studios. idTech 7 is an amazing engine. You know, anyone that's played Doom Eternal, I mean, it looks amazing, it runs amazing.
Imagine Halo ran on that.
The thing that caught my eye, I sent that tweet and Aaron Greenberg liked it. And I was like,
oh, you know that's what's happening. You know that's
I'm like, all right. We're getting some idTech 7 games.
Benji, remember when I said that 343 might throw out that slipstream engine, and everybody was like, "Nah, King, they invested money into that situation." Well, that 500 million don't look as much as 7 billion now, right?
What? Just out of curiosity, what studio would you want to use that engine?
343.
343. Yeah.
I went. Well. Okay.
I would love to see a Halo spinoff because I think Infinite's too late in development.
Absolutely.
But a Halo spinoff on the idTech 7
ODST2. Oh my god.
ODST2. Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah, ODS Part 2. Or you let the dudes that did Deathloop, you let them do that because
we're not even talking about a King. Yeah. They have a Japanese studio now.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
They have the people that make the evil within.
Oh my god.
They have the people that make the evil within.
Yeah, and they needed that right there because from what we know, what we've been hearing is the Silent Hill rumors. Right. Now, could you imagine if they tell Tango, check it out, make this straight up, this is the specs, dazzle us. You don't have to worry about anybody else except for PC and our other spec. And we're going to get into that because Digital Foundry did exactly what I asked them to do. You have been exposed, brothers, and I'm going to get into that. You have been exposed. You have been exposed. I'm going to get you so bad today. You have been exposed. But the lowest spec, but this is let's shoot for the stars here. And I think because I like the Evil Within, and I think that's something that can go against Silent Hill.
And two was amazing.
Yes,
amazing.
And also, I want to shout out. I did not get that I love is Alpha Dog, because I know they do a lot of mobile first party stuff, but and stuff is.
Are they the people that make Fallout Shelter?
Yes, and the thing about them though is you got to remember, because we have to remember the Xcloud play here, right? And when you have studios with that mobile experience, right, and you're going to put a lot of these games in Game Pass, a lot of these games in regions where Xbox consoles are not traditionally going to be, this is the play. Game Pass, Xcloud, PC, and the Xbox ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And having a studio with that level of experience and resources to help in that transition is truly helpful for, again, the broader vision, the long game of an Xcloud and stuff like that. So I just wanted to point, I know they didn't get a lot of love, but I wanted to shout them out as well.
No, absolutely. I think one thing that can't be understated, besides the amount of money that they spent, is the fact that this is not just Xbox investing in gaming. This is Satya investing in gaming. Yeah. This is Satya telling you that at the core of Microsoft's thinking moving forward is gaming. Right, yes. Whether it be cloud, whether it be whatever the case may be, we'll talk about it in a second with the cloud and stuff like that. But I think well, never mind. I'll bring this up when we talk about specifically what we're going to talk about.
Super chats are next up.
Let me get these super chats and then we'll transition. Hold on one second. So let me first start off with a new member of the realm. Shout out to Nelson Nieves.
Nelson, welcome to the realm, brother. Throw the horns in there for the brother.
Throw the horns in there. Throw the crest in the chat. Let me add this other super chat. We have a bunch of super chats. Give me one moment. I will scroll back up.
All good. We got a ton too.
Yeah. Okay, so first off, we got Jay Reddy, Godson, with the $5 super chat. Beat stops. Hey King, shout out to Game Pass. Let me clear my throat. And we got Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. Chris Hart, Microsoft owns Zenimax, so they can put whatever games they want in Game Pass. Men do what they want, boys do what they can.
Xbox in the streets right now. Oh my God.
Shout out to Christopher Hart because he's getting rained on in there in that chat, man. Then we have Squirrely Dan with the $2 super chat. PDMOS, just cut the grass, no more snakes in the yard. Yeah, that's it. That's how you handle it. Just burn the yard down. You have no more snakes. Then we have Avis Plus Productions with the $2 super chat. Demon Souls 1440p, 60 frames per second. So Series S worthy. # Digital Foundry.
Yo, I'm going to get into that.
Then we have the original next level gaming with the $5.
Stinger.
Stinger in the building. Phil sat at the table with the head of Zenimax and said, I'm going to write a number on this napkin and slide it over to you. It does feel like that. Like he handed him the blank check and said, fill it out yourself. Like it's crazy. Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. Xbox put the meat on the table. Now you PS fanboys got to eat this. Oh man.
Jesus. Graphic.
The Book of X. I don't know where that scripture is, but it's in there. Then we have JD Gamer with the $5 super chat. With Microsoft's next purchase, they will have more studios than Sony, Nintendo, Stadia, and Amazon combined. Looking at the who wins now. Yeah, I mean, they brute force that one. Yeah, for sure. Then we have J-Dub is a shill with the $5 super chat. Sony's pockets aren't deep enough. They can't afford a purchase like that. Microsoft buys at 5-star restaurants. Sony buys off food carts. Wow. The chat is real messy today. Very messy. Then we have Crazy Horse with the $5 super chat. The way things are going with the cloud gaming with Amazon, Google, and Tencent, Microsoft might buy Sony to save them. Microsoft might buy Sony to save them.
It might be.
Hilarious.
Sony, I mean, Sony made the I believe the proper bet in going with Azure, so I think they're safe in that regard, maybe. And we have JD Gamer with the $5 super chat. We got Satya out of here saying they're not done. Who's next? Asobo, IO Interactive, Techland, People Can Fly, Sega, Konami, Square Enix, buy them all.
Yeah. Yeah, he got it. We get Eagles fan 76. $5 super chat. People want Microsoft to Sega or Capcom. Can anyone explain how hard it is for companies outside of Japan to buy a Japanese company? Yeah, it is. There's some extra loopholes involved.
First of all, you need to have residence, right? So and it has to be over a period of time. I think that Zenimax deal, being that Tango is there, and they had their residence there, that can extend to purchasing certain stuff that's there. So if you purchased a building inside Japan over the last couple of years where Phil was at least 2 years ago, I don't think that extends over that period of time. But if Tango has been there for a longer period of time, you can purchase through proxy through Tango to get to Sega.
It's like Tango goes to buy something. Now, I know that we're owned by Microsoft, but we're that's our property. Tango, we know you ain't. We know this is going to Microsoft. Stop trying to play us.
Like, I have access to the checkbook. That's all I'm saying. We have Anchorman with the $2 super chat. God Howard yet again found another way to sell Skyrim. Skyrim coming to toasters everywhere. Just look out for it.
I'm so happy for Anchor because he was so angry with Bethesda. Come back into the fold. That was dope.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have JD Gamer with the $2 super chat. Oh, and I think Microsoft will eventually get WB2. Wow. I mean, hey, once all these Batman games come out and Harry Potter comes out, who knows? We'll see. Then we have Stitch with the $5 super chat. Time question. In your opinions, which game is bigger, Spider-Man or Elder Scrolls?
Spider-Man.
I don't know. I would say Spider-Man, but that's a Benji question.
I think the hardcore in me is Elder Scrolls. The hardcore in me is Elder Scrolls.
Benji
in the gaming scene, I think it would be Elder Scrolls.
I would say Spider-Man. What'd you say?
Okay, so it just depends. If it sees It's really actually kind of hard because it's been so long since Skyrim. So it's hard to know exactly what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to perform like, especially we'll get into the exclusivity. But if it's just on Xbox and PC, it makes it a little bit more interesting. But here's what I can say. Skyrim is literally the best-selling single-player RPG of all time in the history of the world. No game has ever sold more that's a single-player RPG.
I didn't know that. Wow.
We're talking tens of millions, like multiple tens of millions of units sold. So Skyrim is way bigger than Spider-Man, way bigger. But will Elder Scrolls say, it's hard to know if 6 will perform like that. But I would say the potential is there to be bigger than Spider-Man. When Skyrim being, so long ago, it makes it harder to compare. But potential.
Benji, do you? Let me just ask a quick question. Do you think Skyrim supplant, now that Microsoft has acquired them, does that supplant as the number one IP overall underneath the Xbox Game Studio banner?
If Elder Scrolls is console and PC exclusive and it is received well, it is bigger than Halo, yes.
Woo!
Unless Halo multiplayer going free to play takes off, but people don't actually realize like how big Skyrim was. Like it dwarfed everything.
Yeah, I mean, it became a verb. Like it became.
but who knows what Elder Scrolls 6 is gonna be like? You know what I mean?
It was so popular, they felt the demand to re-release it like 6 times. So.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like, who knows if Elder Scrolls 6 will perform anything like that? But if it does, I mean, the potential's there to be enormous.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have next up Bravo D3 with the $5 super chat? Benji, do you think hypothetically Take-Two/Rockstar are safe, or is this even something like GTA and NBA 2K not safe from Microsoft, Amazon, Google, or Sony?
Ooh, so that is a lot tougher to acquire because their market cap is going to be way above even what Bethesda. Bethesda was privately owned, so we didn't technically know how much they were worth, right? There was a lot of ideas, there's a lot of things like that, but when you're not a publicly traded company, it's harder to assess an exact value. But Take-Two, Rockstar, all that, they would be way more expensive, and we've already seen $7 billion being huge. I would say those companies, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they have the money to do it. The question is once you get to the really big publishers, the EAs, the Activisions,
the investors going to approve that?
Yeah, you're talking some giant purchases. I mean, EA
probably
alone,
30-40 billion.
Yes, EA alone, their market cap is like 38 billion, and that's just the market cap. So you're going to have to pay more to actually acquire. So the biggest publishers, you know, I would say there are other publishers that potentially might be bought. Someone like Techland, some of these other ones are potential, but like the giants, I don't see that happening just because we're talking an enormous. I mean, it would dwarf the 7 billion. It would be by far the biggest purchase. So.
That would he become King Phil.
That would be next level. That would be if we see someone by someone like that, we're
God.
Next level.
God like Phil.
Super Saiyan Phil. All right, next up we have Victor Allison with the $2 super chat. Xbox did the He-Man with Bethesda. I have the power. Yeah,
we have 700 people in the chat.
Wow.
Hit them likes, baby. Hit them. Y'all all here to see Benji Sales. Listen, man. Listen, respect, like, follow, and definitely listen to what he has to say. God bless.
Thank you, King. Thank you so much. That's so kind.
Yo, I mean,
I love being on the
numbers
show.
went up. The numbers went up.
Dude,
definitely for
that's fantastic.
For people not following this man on Twitter, there's his Twitter. Go follow him.
It's I appreciate it, guys. I love this. Is my second time on the show, and I love it. It's so much fun.
Much appreciated.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We have next up Restored Hades with the $10 super chat. Ever since Phil walked across that stage at the VGAs and announced his generation of Xbox, you got World Breaker Hulk now, and now you're afraid of the power. I hope you bend the knee.
Who did that for you?
Then we got P. Diddy Papa Diddy Puff with the $2 super chat.
That name's hilarious.
They better leave Craig alone. You see what happens.
Yeah, you bully someone and look what happens.
Look what happens. Then he gets brolic. That's what happens. He gets brolic. Then we got Squirrely Dan with the $2 super chat. King and I are going to both be playing Doom on October 1st.
Listen,
Yo, at the start of the year, King said, I'm going to play it when it comes out on Game Pass later this year.
Y'all didn't believe me, but I do feel have my back. But I'm going to tell you something, Squirrely. This tattoo on my chest said, I won't play with you. You did this to me, Squirrely. You did this to me.
No, that wasn't Squirrely. That was Wilmy. Or was it Squirrely?
No, it was Squirrely Dan.
Squirrely,
listen, first of all,
Squirrely,
the one that incited it.
Yo, listen, put some respect on Squirrely damn name. Okay, I know exactly who pulled that trigger. It was Squirrely Dan who pointed the gun in my direction. It was Squirrely Dan. Now he won't be all friends.
Squirrely, it's like that meme. Squirrely has like the rocket launcher, and Wilmy's loading it.
He's pointing Wilmy to the right direction.
Yo, definitely a Squirrely. Definitely on the first. Yes, sir.
Then we have Nelson Nieves with the $2 super chat. I'm an Xbox fan, and Luna is more concerning than PlayStation.
Yeah, of course. We're going to get to that.
Then we have Random Citizen with the $5 super chat. How many studios does it take to fix Craig's face? I need to know.
Damn it, I thought JD Gamer was next.
Savagery. Did I miss JD Gamer?
Yeah, it was JD Gamer with the $10 super chat.
Reed, are you there?
We got a $10 super. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
We got a $10 super chat from JD Gamer. Microsoft is about to do a PS. What they did to Sega, Sony used the fact that they were the bigger company to bully their way into the gaming. Now it's their turn to burn, and Sega can't wait to watch. Oh, that is kind of true.
All right, then we have Dizzy next, right? We got Dizzy with
Nelson Nieves that joined the realm.
We already got him.
I got that first. Yeah, I got that. We have Dizzy with the $5 super chat. They got Mikami, the horror gaming godfather.
Facts.
Tango, the man who brought us Resident Evil, Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, Mikami greater than
slander. He going in.
All right, let's go.
I love horror games, so we better get a horror game from Tango. We better.
You know what, Dizzy? I think you're on to something, man. I think you're on to
Shout out to Dizzy.
And I think we on to that last super chat.
No, we got a few. We have Nappy Boy with the £2 super chat. It-Tech can't handle the Halo Infinite scale.
That is
true.
I
mean, realistically, It-Tech is sort of built for closed, like corridor shooters or whatnot. So
so
that's why I was saying a spin-off. Yeah, exactly.
Like a spin-off.
Let's spin it off.
Let me get this next one. I know what Anchorman. Shout out to Anchorman for being petty and messy with our old school fanboy wars. He says, $2 super chat. Question: does this confirm Bethesda is greater than Bungie?
Bethesda's always been greater than Bungie.
I'll be the first to admit this acquisition by far destroys any idea of a Bungie acquisition. Even I, as a Bungie fan, will tell you they were bugging out when I heard what the rumored price they were asking.
That price is crazy when you ask it for that price.
This Bethesda is the perfect.
But maybe they can come to a happy medium, and then that whole thing falls to the wayside because, I do believe Destiny has outperformed Bethesda.
Yeah, but here's my thing. They don't even need to make the deal, in my opinion, because Destiny is their big franchise. They already got a sweetheart deal
so what
right
you're
now.
trying to say right now, if you got the milk, don't buy the cow?
Bro,
what type of stuff is this?
Listen, King. It's like that ex-girlfriend. Y'all got friends with benefits relationship.
No. Okay, listen. Let me tell you something. I didn't like it. I didn't like it when she was sleeping around. I didn't like it when she was. I had to get second meals later. I did not like it.
She bringing that Beyond Light, that Shadow Keep is all in Game Pass, brand new day and date. She ain't doing that on the other side.
How long does the second honeymoon stick around? I really think we need to lock her down. She really needs to get that bracelet.
She asked for a house and a Rolls Royce, and we don't need to put a ring on that right now.
I'm sorry, man. I think we should, and I really think it'd be a huge mistake if they next game, because they have proven by any company. They have proven they can switch lanes and be super successful in the next lane as they was in the first. They started that Halo and they made something as equally.
Time.
Bring the price down.
He said, "Shut up, time."
Bugging out. Continue.
Hold on a second. That was that.
I got it.
Yeah, wait, say that louder.
Wilbo Gaggins. Five Australian, I'm assuming.
Australian dollars, yeah.
Just added 3 of my top 10 studios: Arcane ID and Bethesda. Wow. Machine Games, honorable mention. Instantly fixed the just one. Yo, salute. He shouted out my just one. Yo, salute, Wilbo.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They definitely answered that.
You fixed your problem.
They still didn't. They still haven't shown us the third person over the shoulder action game per se. But in terms of quality of AAA, yes, they solved that problem.
I don't even need that third person stuff anymore, man. I got Elder Scrolls, man. I don't care, because in Addict's world, I'm the mayor. All right, I don't care.
Let's move on. We got
we have Pixelbit G with the $2 super chat. Sony took an arrow to the knee. Oh wow.
That's
wow, I find that really funny.
Because that's a Skyrim joke.
I know. Then we have JD Gamer with the $2 super chat. Microsoft could buy THQ Nordic. That's big. Yeah, THQ Nordic has like 1 million in studios now. So
yeah. Okay, we're on the last one right now.
All right, we have Harry Balls with the $2 super chat. What? Ben, that's his name, man. Benji. Can Sony buy Capcom or Square Enix?
No.
Can they? Probably, technically. Will they? No, I don't think, because here's the thing. Like, Sony is actually sitting on a decent amount of cash on hand, but whenever you look at it, like, okay, $7 billion is a lot of money, but for Microsoft, it's not. So, like, for Microsoft, $7 billion is whatever. That's, we can just throw $7 billion around whenever. For Sony, if Sony was to spend that kind of money, it's a much more massive chunk of the money that they have.
Microsoft buys that. Well, okay, we won't get drinks for a couple years. Sony buys it's like, yo, we can't eat, we can't pay anything. It's something flops.
Yo, Benji, it's like they PlayStation 5. So it's either all power or
like Microsoft. It's like King said, man. That's a slush fund. If Sony went out and made that kind of acquisition, that is their nest egg.
That's ramen noodles for the rest of the year.
That's the ramen noodles.
So what I'll say,
Ken throwing fireballs in the hallway to keep everybody warm.
Yeah, Benji.
So just what I'll say is I do think you're going to see Sony buy some developers. Keep in mind, we know that they were in the bidding to acquire the company behind Warframe, Leilu. They were bidding up to $1 billion. So a lot of money, not the $7 billion Microsoft was doing, but up to $1 billion. So we do know Sony is willing to spend quite a bit. So I do think you're going to see some studios acquired from Sony, but I don't think you're going to see anything like a Capcom or a Square, like an actual publisher. I think that's just too much.
Yeah, that's kind of out of their league. Yeah.
We got to catch up now.
Okay, then we
got Michael, aka Best Finance, to bad Amazon and Google
So to battle, Amazon and Google, Sony needs to team up with Microsoft. They have no choice. Personally, I don't care what Sony does, but they need to figure it out honestly.
Okay. I don't think Microsoft needs to team up with anyone, but we got a $5 super chat from BitCloud Gaming. Salute to the Iron Lords. We got a £5 super chat from Simon Brady. CD Projekt Red acquisition next. Cyberpunk to Game Pass, then that'll be a game over, man. Game over.
I told you when he went to Poland.
Time. We got a $10 super chat from One Bad Mother. It may have cost Microsoft $7.5 billion, but for the price of the super chat, you can have all of it. Who did that for you? Great show, my friends. And then let's put the logos in there for Mexican Zoidberg. Definitely butchered that.
Zoidberg.
Look, man. It is what it is. I messed it up. We know that. Let's move on.
All right, we have finally caught up. All right. So now that we've all talked about where we were, how we felt initially, the big question that kind of was circulated around the entire internet the entire week. What does this mean for those IP? Traditionally, third-party IPs are all over the place. Now they belong to Microsoft. There's been arguments on both sides of the fence for this one. So what do we think? Where are these IP going? Are they going to stay exclusive to Microsoft and PC? Or is Phil saying case-by-case basis really a case-by-case basis? Or does that just apply to the two games that are already exclusive to PlayStation for a short amount of time? What do you guys think? Let's start off with Lord Benji.
Okay, so when the news very first broke, I'm saying like the very first couple hours, I thought, okay, maybe the biggest, maybe Fallout, maybe Elder Scrolls stay multi-platform. Now just wait. I'm gonna finish. When the news very first broke, and
I see his switch live on Twitter.
yeah, it did. I switched. Okay, so I was thinking, okay, maybe the very biggest they'll keep multi-platform just to maximize sales, but anything from like Arcane's going to be exclusive, anything from id's going to be exclusive, anything. That was my very first original thought. But then the more I sat down and thought about it, the more I kind of looked at what Microsoft's vision is. I do not believe so anymore. No, I think Fallout and Elder Scrolls will only be on Xbox platforms and PC. I think basically everything will be outside of possibly games as a service games. So if they do like some multiplayer type stuff, if they do like another, I'm not expecting another Fallout 76, but you know what I mean? That type of game would not necessarily shock me to see that go multi-platform, but I think the vast majority of this stuff is going to be Xbox and PC only, including Elder Scrolls, because here's the thing, right? Microsoft's vision for the future is about ecosystem. That doesn't mean they're throwing away consoles. It doesn't mean they're like, hey, we're out of the console business. It's only about Game Pass. No, but they do want you in their ecosystem. And if you put Elder Scrolls on PlayStation 5, you are not getting anyone in your ecosystem. Yes, you're making the quick buck. You are selling that game on the platform.
Money.
Exactly. You're going to get some upfront money, but you're not bringing them into Game Pass. You're not bringing them into Xcloud. You're not bringing them into Xbox Live. You're not doing any of that. And so, yes, I think this is all about building the future of their, company. And I don't think these games are going to PlayStation at all. I really don't. I really don't. Because you know how many subs to Game Pass just Bethesda is going to bring in?
Yes.
No.
So question, Benji. So you know right now, that right now they're playing nice with Steam, right? Do you think that continues? Or do you think by, again, like you said, continuing to improve the value of Game Pass, eventually it's like, no, you need Game Pass on PC to play these games?
I think they're staying on Steam.
Yeah, I think they're staying on Steam personally, just because they've seen so much success there. And I think Microsoft doesn't see Steam as a competitive platform since it's still PC. I mean, it's still kind of all in their wheelhouse. So Steam specifically, I do think you're going to still see their games there. I just think they're seeing too much success with it. With PlayStation, it's a little bit different to me than Steam, because at least, like I said, PC is, and Microsoft's evolved beyond just a Windows business, but it's still all in their wheelhouse. Whereas PlayStation, put it this way, if Sony allowed Game Pass on PlayStation 5, I think you would see these games on PlayStation 5.
Oh, for sure.
But it would only be through Game Pass. It would only be through
I think you would absolutely see it, but Sony ain't ever gonna agree to that.
Because that would low key. That would be admitting that they win. Like, that would low key be like, okay, if this is the only way to get these games on our platform, we're doing it. And that they ain't doing that. Like,
the number I keep
no.
coming back
Jim
to,
Dance Moves Ryan is capable of anything.
No, he's got a new nickname now, King. He's got a new nickname. His new nickname is Lying Ryan.
Liar. It sounds like a garbage pail kid.
What would you saying, Benji? What'd you say?
My last statement on it would just be, I just don't see why you would spend $7 billion to put games on the platform.
Yeah, no.
I just don't see. At the end of the day, when you think about it, it's like, why are you spending $7 billion to just put the game on competitors? You know, I don't really get that.
And to your point, to double down on your point, Ben, you make a fantastic point, is that when you look at the other deals, for example, look at the EA situation, right? And EA came into Game Pass, but the reality is, right, those weren't if you're gonna pay $7.5 billion, right? Right, the reality is it's ownership, right? There's control of what's going on here. And if it was just about Game Pass and people saying, well, they'll miss out on the Sony money and so on and so forth, then they would have paid less to get that kind of a relationship, right?
Exactly.
So that's the difference. You have to look at how these things play out. And I know we're going to get into the whole fanboy stuff.
But I want to play devil's advocate. I've never done that before.
Oh,
I want to do this one time.
The Sob hat.
Now, there's a lot of people that I see out there that it's actually a genuine thing. That, look, sure, it would be cheaper to do that on a game-by-game basis, which is ironically what they're saying about these games. But what they're saying is, if you buy the whole thing, you don't have to do that game by game. You can put them all Game Pass day one and on the competitor's platform, and like you can do Elder Scrolls 6, Starfield. You can do it from here going on. You don't have to just do it game by game.
Well, the thing is, and it's that double standard, right? When Sony does it, there's less of a pushback on it. When Microsoft does it, we saw what happened with Rise of the Tomb Raider. We saw when you do it piecemeal like that, Microsoft is always going to take a lot of heat because the perception is they're not the market leader. How dare they try to do this, right? So what do you do to respond to that? Like King said, you buy the whole mall. You don't buy the outfit, you buy the mall. And then the argument is moot at that point because it's like they did exactly what they needed to do to control every aspect of that conversation. Right. Is it a crazy move? Yes. But for them, it's necessary to control that because I think if they go game by game to these other publishers and say, hey, I want this exclusive. I want to buy this. I want it for a year, 2 years, whatever. I think that conversation goes less smoothly with Microsoft than it does with Sony because they'll look at Sony and be like, you're the market leader. Cool. I'll give you this game for a year. With Microsoft, they might have been like, I don't really see the benefit to putting it on your platform. And again, it's sad, but that is the case. That's what it feels like the case is. So they did what they needed to do is just buy them outright, and we control the entire narrative. That's it.
Sorry, you go, Benji.
Oh, I was just gonna say, and here's the thing: the other part about making it exclusive, it's like Sony is going out and spending money to lock down exclusives to their platform from third parties. We already have seen some announced like Final Fantasy 16, and there's going to be more. Here's the thing, like whether you view Sony as competition or not, however you're going to say it, you know, they're going out and they're locking down exclusives. Why would you not take the IP that you own, that you spent all this money on, and also lock that down as exclusive because your competitor is going out there and doing exactly that. So it makes no sense to me.
You don't owe them anything in that regard.
And then we have to, I want to say one last point with the Addict said with case by case, right? The thing is this is, because I see a narrative saying the reason why they have to put it on PlayStation is because they don't want Microsoft's going to be viewed as the enemy and they want to be the nice guy here. Here's the reality. This is big business, right? And at the end of the day, when you look at the words case by case, where in my opinion that applies to is things like Elder Scrolls Online, right? Fallout 76, where these are MMOs who have established communities in in PlayStation games. So
and not to mention the other company makes mobile stuff.
Right. So. Microsoft won't be evil in that regard and cut off the PlayStation 5 for community in those games because those are existing communities, almost like a Minecraft. But when you're talking about these single player, these IPs that are now being developed, you best believe for 7.5,
They want to control them all. They want to control, like Benji said, putting it into their ecosystem. The best way to get people into the ecosystem is not just a $70 quick upfront money where Sony's going to take, 30%. You know what I'm saying, off the top. They want you in that reoccurring Xbox Game Pass subscription. That is more valuable to them than short $70. People have to get this out of their head. And to your last point with the narrative, it's just that, look, this is a business. Sony has been doing this for a long time. And rightfully so. They've built up cachet in the brand. And Attic, we've had this conversation before. I didn't see people crying when Street Fighter V, arguably the greatest fighting game of the generation, it was exclusive to that platform, right? This is just business. You're trying to get people into the ecosystem. That's all this is.
The play has always been Game Pass. It's always been the play. If you're trying to grow your ecosystem, there's no way he's gonna force them to bend the knee to Game Pass in some way, shape, or form. I'm of the mind at this point, the argument that you can only get one platform is kind of moot. Even considering
some dudes can't afford that, man.
Nah, bro.
But now we're gonna have to pick and choose now, baby. Now, baby.
I don't buy it anymore, King.
No, I buy it. I've seen dudes go shopping. I buy it. Listen, let me tell you. Now, enough of this. You reap what you sow.
Before you go on your rant, because I know it's going to be a minute.
We have a couple. He said before it's going to be a minute.
yeah. When King goes on his rant, that's probably going to end the whole segment. So I want to get my bars off before King goes home. Do we have any super chats we want to get through?
Yeah, let me get these real quick. Did we get one bad mother? It may with the $10 super chat, it may have cost Microsoft $7.5 billion, but for the price of this super chat, you two can have it all.
We got that.
We have Baron.
Oh wait, Baron with the $5 super chat. If Sony does not double down on PS Now in 10 years, they will become the like Sega and make games only. We're seeing gaming Netflix versus Blockbuster.
Let me get this Kid Smooth. We got a $10 super chat from Kid Smooth. Temper Steam only started getting Xbox first party games after agreeing to let Steam users log into Xbox Live to access the games. Steam ultimately did that because Epic was securing a lot of content, and that is true. And I think that's one of the reasons you saw EA go back on there, because it forced Steam to be realistic that, okay, Epic is not playing. I need to actually play nice.
Yeah. So let's go to. I think for the most part, it seems like we're all sort of in agreement that these aren't going anywhere.
Still got more.
We got three more.
Let me get P15. 1553D1 $5 super chat. Not Game Pass to PlayStation. Xcloud to PlayStation. PlayStationers can already play on their phones and hook that up to the TV. Xcloud or PlayStation takes out that phone and gets subscriptions.
Okay? Yep, that's right.
All right, so let's do these last super chats, and I'm gonna say something before we pass off the key. We have Shiloh with the $5 super chat. Heard that Phil went to the store and bought some Reese's for $7.5 billion. Then he decided to give one of those cups to Jim Ryan. We got Smitty Smith with the $5 super chat. This is big business. $7.5 billion. Do not care how you were viewed. To hell with your feelings. The Book of X. I agree. Oh my God. Then we have Michael, a.k.a. Best Size Finest, $2 super chat. Doom Eternal and Game Pass next week. Thank you, Phil. Hello.
What I want
to get his bars off though.
What I want to bring up is we already have examples of this. I understand people like bringing up the Minecraft thing, and I get to a point. I can understand people's point with, okay, Minecraft was a multi-billion-dollar thing. Then that's why that is multiplayer. I don't think that was it. I think that Minecraft wasn't bought for gaming at all. Minecraft was bought for, selling toys, licensing out the movies. Obviously, it was bought for games too, but it was mainly bought for everything else in general and not just gaming.
It felt like it was a corporate move more than a gaming move.
Let's go back a couple years to when they bought all those studios. All right, that was a lot of money too. People act like that was chump change. No, that was a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a big acquisition.
And I'm assuming that was over $1 billion too, at least over $1 billion, because I was told it was rumored that they spent like $400 to $600 million just on Playground Games. So let's look at that scenario. When all that stuff came out, we had the Outer Worlds. The reason that these games weren't exclusive is because they had a third-party deal that was not part of that company that was a publisher. That's not the case here. They bought the whole publishing license. Like, okay, then, after that came out, my question to everyone that wants to use that scenario is Avowed. Is that an exclusive? Yes.
Right.
Hellblade 2, is that an exclusive? Yes. I mean, Grounded, that's an exclusive. Bleeding Edge, that's an exclusive. My question, and the thing I want to point out is, do you guys think that 2 years ago they made this investment and these games are exclusive? Do you think just because they spent a few $1 billion more that to me, Hellblade 2, if that was the vision, if they wanted companies just to make it day one on Game Pass, those games would be coming to PlayStation. Those games
would be coming to PlayStation. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's what shows you that the play was always Game Pass.
If a couple years, I don't think that the visions changed like that. I think the vision back then was we're buying these studios to make our ecosystem, because regardless, a lot of people say, Xbox doesn't care about the consoles anymore. They care about them. It's just not the focus anymore. Exactly. They know that the Xbox is still, the Xbox is a device to get to their ecosystem. Exactly. They're focused on the ecosystem, but they still want to sell consoles because it gets you to their ecosystem.
Yes, I understand.
I think the Xbox anything to PlayStation conversation only happens when there's no box that they're selling you. And as long as Phil's in charge, he said that's not happening. So I don't see that happening. So to kind of expound on what you guys have been talking about, especially to the super chat that talked about the Game Pass, not Game Pass to PS Cloud to PlayStation, but Xcloud. I got to give a shout out to Colt Eastwood, because Colt put up a video that was he simplified it for everyone that has this argument about no, they're going to PlayStation. This is why. He basically took a circle chart, a pie graph, right? 100% of the gaming sort of companies. And he divided it up, right? He basically divided up into 3 sections: mobile gaming, console gaming, and PC gaming, right? And he highlighted all the aspects where Microsoft is trying to
take it for someone who does artwork and stuff. That took that man hours.
Yeah, well, but he simplified it in such a way because he highlighted in green all of the areas that Microsoft is trying to touch with all aspects of their ecosystem, whether it be Game Pass, whether it be Xcloud, everything he's trying to touch. When you look at that and you take out the 12, 15 million PlayStations in the console gaming space, it is a very small number compared to what they can reach as a whole with their ecosystem as it is. It doesn't make sense for them to have spent this amount of money. It's just logistics. Honestly, there really is no argument to be made.
Right.
It's just logistics. The reach that they have with Xcloud and with Game Pass and with just the PC market, it allows them to penetrate the mobile market, the PC market, and continue to grow their market share in the console market. So it doesn't make sense to sort of, if you want to talk about diminishing properties and diminishing the sort of the wealth of your properties or the value of your properties, put those games on PlayStation. That would do that. That would do that. So it's not happening, guys. It's just not happening. So
last point too, before I get King and everybody, is that you made a good point, Saul, in the sense that you also have to understand the console market. There's a ceiling. There's a certain ceiling that at that point you're not going to exceed it, right? It's I don't know whether it's because it's mobile phones, whatever, but it has shown that there's a certain number.
And every year, more and more people head towards the mobile market.
Right. So basically, when the console generation starts, it's these companies fighting for that share of that ceiling, right? Now, when you throw in PC and then you throw in the mobile market, now you are expanding upon it. And that's where the Game Pass play comes in. That's where the xCloud stuff comes in. You know what I'm saying? Because that is what they're ultimately trying to do. Again, we have to stop. We're so used to the consoles driving our mentality and the old way of thinking. That's
the Sony way?
Well, that's
the Sony way, right?
That's their business model. I'm just telling you how Microsoft thinks.
You just said the old way, and I was just clarifying for the public, for the TCL users. I'm just letting you know that he was talking about the Sony way.
Oh, and by the way, I'm no longer the TCL ambassador. We won't go into why, but I'm no longer the TCL.
We knew that. Shout out to that HDR in your eye.
We're not talking about that.
Shout out to 1,000 nits, baby. 1,000 nits. Look at
time.
That's pretty much what I wanted to say. It's just that it's a different
way of looking at it. But let me give it more. I think King's up.
Yes, sir. Lord King, the floor is yours.
Like I was saying, you reap what you sow. Like I was saying, you reap what you sow. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. You were having such a good time. Exclusives, baby. Exclusives drive the market. Exclusives is the reason we purchase. Well, now, brother, put your money where your mouth is. Because exclusives is the reason why you will have an Xbox. So,
King, what happens if someone comes up and asks you?
I don't care what they talking about. If you don't have an Xbox right now, something wrong with you. He gave you 7 billion reasons why. Oh, he said, who? Doom? What? Because at first you heard Destiny. I don't care about Destiny being in Game Pass. How about Doom, though? How about that Skyrim, though? You Fallout boys, right? How you about to do Fallout boys? How y'all doing over there? So all that Street Fighter stuff. Remember that I had to purchase a PlayStation 4 to play Street Fighter.
Thanks.
I had no choice. And y'all was sitting there loving it because exclusives make you purchase. Well, guess what? Guess what? And he made something just for you. He made because you got that gigantic box. You got that big heater that you have right next to your TV. He put a nice little small joint that's gonna be right nicked in the way. You can hide it from your friends.
Play.
So what you can do is you can hide the console. You can make people think that it's a PlayStation, and you can pull your controller out when they're not watching, and you can play your Xbox. Listen, Sony fans. I'm giving you exactly how you're gonna get it done. So when you go to the store, make sure you got on your COVID mask.
Oh my God.
Make sure you got on your hat.
Oh my God.
Just like this. You're going just like this. And you say, yo, let me get that S. Yo, you know why you gonna say let me get that S? Because you're a TCL dude. So we know how you move. So you're gonna go get that S. And listen. The Series S is just as good as your PlayStation 5 because Digital Foundry just exposed you dudes. 1440p is down for you. So listen.
Oh my God.
Now that we understand what you need, you want to get your Skyrim on, you want to get your Doom on. Remember, exclusives is the reason why you buy. So you have no choice. Now, all that, please, kind sir, please Doom on my PlayStation 5. No. No, Tiny Tim, there will be no soup for you.
Oh my God.
I knew he was going to go crazy.
You know he was going to go in.
This is where all the needs, I got DHL, they just hit me up right now. DHL just hit me up and said, yo, King, your need delivery is coming this week. And I said, thank you. I got boxes and boxes of needs. And I might need some of your Sony guys to help me put them in. Oh, you can't help me because you ain't got no needs.
King, I just got one question for you. Who did that for you?
Who did that for you?
I've never been so happy to be so right. I've never been so happy to be so right because I'm watching all of you squirm and wiggle and cry because you got to get out an extra $325 out of your pocket because you're going to buy the S. You ain't going to buy the X, right? It's like, you don't want to be a super fan, so you have to buy that S. And I am so happy to you.
I will say this, King.
He did it.
I gotta give you your moment because the funny thing is, we were told, right, from a certain base that, look, Sony treats their customer like VIP. Sony does these things and makes these moves and exclusive. And in defense of the Xbox base, there were no tears shed for them when these games were exclusive. And we had to go get a PlayStation. That was it. At the end of the day, when I wanted to play Street Fighter 5, I had to get a PlayStation. When I wanted to play Final Fantasy 7, I had to get a PlayStation. I literally
just bought a PlayStation
just
to play Final Fantasy 7.
So if you're truly a gamer, you're going to go and purchase.
And you know what, Cognito? Yeah. I want to play Demon's Souls. Guess what I got to do?
I got to go get it. Exactly. It just comes down to being a gamer again. And this is the funny part of it.
And you know what this is, King Incognito? This is just a bunch of people talking about games they didn't care about. So they didn't care if they had to go get a console. But when you take something for ransom, he's like, yo, I got that Doom. I got the Doom in the back. You gonna pay that money? They're like, I
want it to be known. I want every time a PlayStation owner goes to buy a Series S, and when you're in GameStop, when you're in Best Buy, wherever you are, and they yo, let me get an S. Bring that over here. I want them to do it nice and loud, and I want when your credit card to go in, swipe card don't work right there. They be like, oh, hold on. Hold on, we gotta wipe this. You having a problem, sir? No.
Oh my God.
I want everybody to acknowledge you. You have crossed picket lines. They give you a nice little Xbox scarf or a hat, something to identify you with your new purchase and the fact that you are here with us. Thank you. I'm so happy to have you with us. Thank you.
Yo, it's like, what did I say last?
Hey,
what
Benji, if you, sorry, I'm just saying, Benji, if you have something you have to do, man, feel free to tell us at any time.
Oh, I have to be at work at 2:30, but I mean, I got time.
I just wanted you to know that.
Yeah,
no, I'm good.
Not that we kick Benji.
Ransom. Yeah, exactly.
The Lords are like, get Benji out of here.
No,
Oh my! Just tell the man, if you got something you have to do, you always act like I'm sitting here giving people information.
But you ask him that before we go live.
I know, but he was looking at his phone, so I thought he was looking at a clock.
To be fair, he wasn't.
That I'm gonna be on the Iron Lords, and they probably text him like, "Oh my God, he said that." That's what he probably.
The last time he was on, he's like, "Next time I'll be on with you guys, I'm gonna rock with you guys the whole time." I mean,
like I said, we're respectful of Benji's style, but continue.
Absolutely. So, listen. Didn't I say last week? These companies are liars. They're all liars. They lied to you. They told you. Listen, Jim Ryan was like, "We believe in generations." Now you don't. No, you don't. Phil Spencer said, first party exclusives aren't necessarily as important as they, as people make them out to be. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. He just gave you 7.5 billion reasons why they are. They're liars. They're all liars to you. That's why the allegiance to any box per se is foolishness. Like Cog said, be a gamer.
You're a gamer.
Yo, I got to shout out 108, man, because 108 is always out there, and Forte always out there touting this message. Game. If you come out here and you have it, and that's why I told King, that's why I was saying King, I don't buy that argument anymore that you can only get one platform. There's ways around it now. There's, even if you can't get the
I've never bought that. These people have access. It's emotions. They're getting emotions attached. That's what it is.
It's emotions. And
tribalism.
Yeah, and tribalism. And that's a game.
This is why I don't buy his argument. I literally sat there while a guy came online.
One person's going to be a whole demographic.
He brought all, and this person could be everybody in every state, someplace. I know every line at GameStop had one of these dudes. He brought all his video games, and he had it in the bag. And this is it. I got to trade it in so I can put the down payment on my system, whatever the system is. I don't know what he was coming to get. He could have been on the Xbox line trying to get a PlayStation, see if they're available, and put my money up. Not everybody has the same wallet as you.
No, that is true.
Right? And people go into.
I don't buy.
No, he's right.
Some of these
dudes. I agree with King.
I make almost minimum wage, and I can get both of those. I don't buy it. I don't. There's sometimes at these holiday things you can come out of a GameStop or a Walmart for $200. It's emotions. These people sit there, they're buying their entire soul into a box, and they're like, "I'm not leaving. It's mine." Like, I don't buy it.
King, and I'm gonna follow up.
Then he has the numbers. A lot of this is casual purchases.
Yes.
And these casual people choose one for a generation.
That I agree with. The casual.
And I may be wrong by saying they can't afford it, but it's not even about that. It's about the casual purchase. Those individuals go in and their decision is based on, is Doom on that box?
Yes.
I'm not talking about the casual at all. I'm talking about the person that's having this.
We're talking about the people on Twitter. That's
those guys.
We know that there's a lot of fraud.
They all got the same thing. They all got everything. They lie to their fan base and they tell them, "Oh, I'm rocking with PlayStation all night long," and they actually going ghost on Xbox, invisible, playing their games. So I know who you are. I see you all the time, but I don't want you to lie to your fan base. I tell the truth. I got everything. I choose to play on Microsoft. I'm forced to play on Sony, and the window is getting smaller and smaller for you dudes.
Look, at the end of the day, I'll just say this point. Attic, I know what you're saying. The income is there. People can get it, but what tends to happen is people tend to make an informed decision, right? And they say to themselves, "Look,
all I'm going to be doing is this activity from a casual standpoint or this game. And they just say practically, it just makes sense to get one. And then what they do, they see where their friends are going, and then they double down on that decision. And that's generally how it works. And that's all we're saying. So a lot of it comes down to people want to dig in and justify that singular purchase, and thus the tribalism and all that stuff stays in. But if you're a gamer, right, just like we are, when Ghost of Tsushima came out, I was picking up. Yeah, my Sony was already here, so I was good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I had everything in place already, so that wherever these games go, I'm not going to be emotionally distraught, or because I can't get it because how dare they? You know, they should open the floodgates open and let me in. No, this is you know, truly love that game. Go out to the platform.
A great example. I love Final Fantasy games, and I'm sitting here on the Addict Show saying Sony should probably look into buying Square Enix. They got a good relationship. They could probably make that happen more than anything else. Knowing I have to buy PlayStation if they buy that company, because I have to play the Final Fantasy games. I think it comes down to is some of these, hardcore people get emotional. I think it's just games. This generation, let's be real, the Xbox games was lacking for the most part, and there wasn't a whole lot of reason to own an Xbox platform. Next generation, it's not like that.
I like that. Wow. Yeah. And last point is, again, and this is for King, if you bully someone and tell them their whole life you have no games, right? If you bullied,
they really did get tired of being a laughing stock.
At the rich kid who got bullied and said, "Okay, I'm buying this whole thing when I grow up." The next generation,
it really is.
Live by this exclusive sword, you die by the exclusive sword, and now you got this is what it's going to be. Don't get fooled by the like Soft said, by the rhetoric and all this other stuff. They want you in the ecosystem. That is the play.
You're bending the knee to Game Pass. That's it. All right, let's get these super chats, and then we'll move on to the next part of this topic real quick. We got Restored Hades with the $5 super chat. Xbox having the games all available on PC, and with Game Pass being available on mobile, PC, Xbox, and some TVs. Ask you, do they need to support PSN?
No.
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
We have Lord Brat with the $2 super chat. King, I'm upgrading to OLED. Salute, Lord.
What he mean he buying an OLED? He PC master.
PC master race. So
no. He's buying a Series X. You know how
he already got one. He already got. You know what? Hold on. Fraud alert, man. Fraud alert. I forgot. How many of these people, this entire generation, said there's no reason to get an Xbox? There's no reason to get an Xbox. I'm not getting a Series X. And then what happens? Every single one of these people. You know what? I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down.
Where all the guys that got all these PCs that don't need Xbox now? Remember that? That was.
I see so many of these. Look at the. What's funny is people literally went out to GameStops to clown on Xbox for not having a great line, but they're getting an X.
I just remember all these people. There was no need for the Xbox.
There's no need. Then we have Smitty Smith with the $10 super chat. Sony got the PS fanboys trained well. Sony, step one, blow into the controller. Sony, don't be scared, just the tip.
Oh my wow.
Sony, step three. Sony, baby.
Sony, baby. That was funny as hell.
The Book of X. Once again, new scripture into the Book of X. Then we have Stitch with the $5 super chat. Today's scripture for the IOP Book of X is incredible. The Prophet King David. IOP, who did that for you? Okay, there's a whole bunch of emojis. Then we have the Wise Old Gamer with the $2 super chat. Full made Xbox Series S for Sony. What does the S stand for? Series Sony. Then we have Webhead 420 with the $5 super chat. Shout out to the Lords. Love the show. Love the show much. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, brother.
We have Sage 2. We have Forte. Hold on. We have Forte with the $2 super chat. Hell yeah, Sav. Games is why we play, not platform. Thank you. We got to Sage with the $10 super chat. Cognito, remember what I said. Let Addict know Sony isn't going to buy Square because they already have a suitor with deeper pockets. After this, you'll remember what I said.
You implying?
They need some Japanese blood.
All right, so let's move on to the next aspect of this. So 2 years ago, Cog and I were sitting next to each other at the Bethesda conference, and when they announced Orion, we looked at each other and we're like, another player in the space, very interesting. And they were touting some kind of bonkers sort of performance levels, talking about PC settings, max PC settings, 4K, 60 frames per second, no perceivable lag. And we raised an eyebrow to that. So, Cog, what do you feel about now that Bethesda, Zenimax and Microsoft are better?
Don't say Bethesda. I mean, kid get mad. You say Bethesda like
man. You gotta say Zenimax, man.
When now that Zenimax and Microsoft are bedfellows, what does this mean for cloud in general on the Microsoft?
I want to shout out. I want to shout out Jeff Gordon. I want to shout out Bill Stillwell. Got a lot of information from these.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And listen, I think this is one of the most understated aspects of the deal because at the end of the day, like I said, Soft, like you said, we were there in the Bethesda conference 2019 in that crowd, whatever. And at the end of the day, this tech, again, from my understanding, it's SDK. So it's a cloud streaming SDK this is going to be in engine. And according to Bethesda with this Orion tech, they're able to really control latency even better. I think right now, Project Xcloud is 720p, 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
Right, but it's using the Xbox One S
as the blade.
Yeah. Right, so it's not the X yet, so that's not the maximum. But most people don't have an issue because it's on a smaller screen, right? But now, if you are able to do something in engine, right, where you can reduce this latency, it will be interesting to see, how this tech is now leveraged now that Microsoft, has ownership of it with this whole deal. So I think a lot of it also comes down to the barriers of, a lot of the connections being optimal, whether it be a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi or, high quality 5G and stuff like that. Again, xCloud works fine as it is, but it almost, again, if the tech is as advertised, we still have to see it in the wild. What we saw was, let's be honest, a controlled environment when it was initially debuted. But one thing is for sure, if it in any way could improve the latency and that relationship with xCloud to give the seamless experience, this could be another coup for Microsoft for that long-term play that they are shaking out. So I just wanted to bring it to the realm. I thought it was interesting. The geek in me, love to hear and read this kind of stuff. And when you speak to people who are in the know, from my understanding, this is on an in-engine level. This is different. This is also not as reliant on your proximity to a data center or a cloud service. So this is really cool stuff, and I'm very interested to see how they leverage it. I don't know if Benji was following any of this at all, anything like that, but I just wanted to bring it to the table in that regard.
For sure. Benji, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, streaming is going to become just more and more and more important as time goes on. It's one of those things. I feel like Phil's made it really clear that to them, they don't view streaming as like something that's going to just take over the industry. No one's going to be on consoles. They see it as additive to the market. But the thing is it's just going to continue to grow, especially in emerging markets, right? Like it's easy to think here in a lot of places, people have the disposable income maybe to drop $600 or $500 on consoles and games. But for a lot of markets, you might have a cell phone and you might have a decent internet connection because believe it or not, even in a lot of emerging markets, they have pretty decent internet infrastructure is definitely improving worldwide. So anything you can get, any piece of tech that you feel like is gonna make your streaming offerings better, reduce latency, things like this, it's all important because as we see, Google's made attempts with Stadia, we have Amazon coming in, we have Microsoft trying to put xCloud everywhere. So it's one of those things. I don't know that we're ever going to get to a point where streaming just takes over the entire market, but it is going to become a thing that a lot of people use. So it definitely makes sense. Yeah. Bringing in as much good tech as possible to increase your tech is a good thing.
Absolutely. And last point I'll make is, like I said, I'm quick on this. Again, these are additive things. We know the play. Obviously, the elephant is in the room. Amazon Salute is here. Shout out to Dizzy. He's got a fantastic article right now on LordSovILP.net. And people could say this. We know people laughing with Stadia. We get it. You know what I'm saying? They weren't prepared with the game thing. But one thing we do know is Amazon's actually been lurking for a while. They've had their footprint in gaming for a while as far as studios and things of that nature. We do know from a performance standpoint, they're 1080p 60, 4K coming soon. We see the Ubisoft deal. And at the end of the day, the footprint of Amazon is tremendous in this respect. I work for a tech company. AWS is very prevalent. And also King will let you know, just people having access to like Amazon movies and music and not realizing it just because they have Prime for using it for shipping. These are all things that they use to penetrate the market. So into King's words, the White Walkers are here. Like they are here. And I know people are like, look, they got to prove it to me. They have to show me the commitment to gaming. I get that. That is fair, right? But off the bat, it's definitely a better position than Stadia. So
I agree.
We have to not be overconfident. If you're Microsoft, you can't be overconfident. Like Benji was saying also, when it comes to these studio acquisitions, this is where the play is going to get interesting because Amazon's going to be looking to play. They got this stupid money, right? Google's looking to play. People are looking to get their footprint in. So these are things we got to be cognizant of. We just can't poo-poo it and say, oh, it's Amazon. They don't have a chance. These are the reasons why Project Xcloud are doing things. And at the end of the day, competition is good for the market, even in the streaming space. And hopefully this will help Xcloud.
I think the only way that Stadia does anything is if Google and Amazon come together to do a streaming platform. Like I don't think them independently is going to do anything. Like that's just my opinion.
I think what happens in the long term is that I think this play with Orion and Xcloud makes a lot of sense, like Cog said, because it is an additive thing to what Xcloud already has on the hardware side. Because it's an SDK and it's software bound, it's something that can be put out to everything that they have, right? And we know that we're going to get Series X blades coming later this in 2021 or the beginning of that. When you look at like what Attic was saying about them joining together, that would be a very difficult proposition just from a logistical standpoint because Stadia runs on Linux.
Right.
It would have to be a complete you're dropping one or the other.
Well, they're going to have to do something because Stadia is definitely not it right now.
Right. And Luna is Windows based, y'all.
It's Windows based.
Big deal.
It is. When you look at the Amazon offering and their reach, they are the White Walkers, really. Like Stadia has put themselves in a position where they're coming from a point of weakness in terms of how they decided to sort of present Stadia and sell Stadia. But if that changes, then that conversation changes as well. But right now, Amazon, knowing their reach, knowing the AWS and how prominent that is in everything that they do, if you need to worry about anybody in the now very crowded streaming space, it's Amazon.
Right. Shout out to Deuteronomy. He says, why do people want to stream, not even mobile gamers? Again, you're thinking from a selfish North American perspective. You have to think outside the box. Again, in regions where the console is not a priority, where Xbox consoles are not a priority. Like these are things that markets, the mobile space is bigger than you think. And a lot of people, shout out to Sub-Zero, is bigger than the console piece game. That is the long-term play.
Especially Asia.
Yes. For us as gamers, our region doesn't care as much, right? But these other regions, like Benji, tell them, Benji, like this is what the play is. I'll let you elaborate with these other regions.
Yeah, just I was gonna say, like, particularly this has potential to be very big in Asia. Asia is a gigantic market in general for mobile. I mean, dwarfs consoles, not even close in general. So, there's no guarantee that things like Xcloud or Luna or things like this will take off in those Asian markets. But I'll tell you what, I mean, if you have one of these services really blow up over there, I mean, the potential in those markets particularly is enormous.
Exactly. That's why you see the deals
that these guys are making, like on Xbox with SK Telecom, stuff like that, trying to get it into the IP, trying to get it into as many spaces as possible. TV. That's what they're trying to do, man. That's
the continuous improvement of the tech. Like right now, we're talking about Xcloud, 720p, 30 frames per second. But with the advent of something like Orion, we're talking about people. If you don't have access to a console, you choose not to game on a console, and you are in one of these regions where the mobile is huge. Imagine being able to, have whatever a 1440p or a 4K monitor like that, or a tablet or something like that, and be able to run these games at 60 frames per second.
Exactly.
It is an investment in continuing to improve the tech that has to show you that it's the way forward. Like they're not investing all this money and time just to drop it. It's not
exactly. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting there first, because then you've established yourself, and then once you get that first, you become synonymous with what that is. And look how Netflix and these things start. I mean, this is a big play, man. I know gaming. A lot of us don't care about mobile gaming, but I just wanted to bring it up. But we can move on to Benji's time.
Cool. King and Adam, you guys have anything specifically on it?
I really couldn't care less about.
Amazon have been in the gaming space for a little while. They've been testing the waters, and what you fear, this is the reason why Phil and Microsoft feel that Nintendo and Sony aren't competition. They're not strong in the area that they know that everything is going to go into. They're looking at the people that have the infrastructure that can actually dominate, and the wallet that can actually push that infrastructure forward. So when you look at Google and you look at Amazon, you start to realize that if they ever woke up, see, this is the thing. Everybody always said, and Solomon said it earlier, why does Microsoft play the little kid and he has the biggest wallet? At a point in time where he could have just dominated the market. If we all wanted Bill Gates to actually just buy everything and just control games, right? Like he could have did that, right? But why are they playing little brother? Now Microsoft has established themselves in the gaming space to a point where there are people on the board that see what's valuable and where they can make magic money.
Right. You
don't want the right person in charge in Google, and I know Phil Luminous was never that dude. Cog. And over at Amazon, if they have the right people in place, this thing can get really dangerous really fast. Like Benji was saying, they can purchase and they can go out and they got FU money. They can just go out and say, you know what, EA, you're doing nice. You're mine. And that will change the landscape dramatically. Could you imagine if you could only get Madden and 2K and all these games, all this stuff? I'm on the 2K, well, Rockstar, but Madden, FIFA and all these other games, UFC and stuff, only in Lumina. Could you imagine if you can only get it in Stadia? So this is the White Walkers. This is the real fight. The real fight is these giant companies that has the disposable income that can just come in and they can just wipe out a whole area, build a campus for their new studios. That's that type of money that I'm talking about. It's not just you purchasing these studios. They got town money where they can purchase a town, wipe it clean, and start with their whole studios there. So be very careful with what you're looking at, because it's not very easy to do that. When you go to Redmond, see, Cog is when you go to Redmond, how does it how did it look, Cog, when you got there? Y'all see Google's like campus. You see Redmond, Microsoft campus. These are campuses. They buy little sections of cities. And you got to really know who you're dealing with. So a lot of people think, oh, now Sony is rocking it. Sony is not buying no city.
Out of control. Listen, I ain't what you say. Look, at the end of the day, it's investment. You know what I'm saying? And you got, if you want to make your mark there, you want to be dominant there, you got to put in the money, you got to put in the software, you got to cater to games and demographics that you are weak in. And with consoles, it's not to play there. It's
I hope they don't wake up.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to wake the sleeping giant. You don't.
Exactly.
Like, you got to be careful. You got to watch what you wish for sometimes, right? Because
let's get this final one.
Let's get these super chats real quick, and then we'll move on. XBL with the $10 super chat. I wish Phil would just say these games will be exclusive. Shut that ish down and don't give PS5 fanboys hope.
Listen, they're riding the high right now. They don't.
How do you keep a fool in suspense?
You think if the shoe was on the other foot, there would be any questions? No, there wouldn't be any questions. But you guys have to remember that the deal it hasn't fully taken effect yet, right? So, when that happens, we'll get definitive statements. Yeah, it is kind of funny that they're kind of talking around the subject. But, but like I said, logistics will tell you that it doesn't make any sense that they would be doing any of that.
I went back and I looked. I searched everything with Aaron Greenberg, Phil Spencer, anyone you could think of in terms of Play 2. And I'm just saying real quick, like they didn't comment on them either. So like they left that completely mystery. The first time we knew that was definite exclusive is when they showed it at the VG.
Let's breeze through these topics. Benji needs to get to work. Let's get these topics real quick.
Webhead $5 with the $5 super chat. Do you guys think Xcloud could blow up in popularity over in Japan, like Benji said? If you have the right games for them and the service is good, it could potentially blow up. Absolutely. So one more, Jonathan B, $5 super chat. Can anyone confirm where Cog is at the moment? How do we know that
he's in a studio in Microsoft building?
He's in Microsoft building brokering deals.
I can neither confirm or deny.
You see, he did. Oh man!
All right, so
we've been sold.
So real quick on these Xbox Series pre-orders. There were not a lot of them out there, right? So just get everybody's thoughts on how it went. Did you get yours? Did you not get yours? Let's talk about that. So let's start with Benji.
I got a Series X pre-order.
I hate you.
I'll tell you what, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare to secure it, but I did manage to get one, so I do have my Series X pre-ordered. I'm pretty stoked about it. In general, it doesn't look like there was much. It looks, at least as of now, that Sony had more consoles up for pre-order than Microsoft, so that will be interesting to see how that goes moving forward. This is just looking at like channels and stuff. This isn't this isn't concrete. I'm not saying for sure I know that they had more, but all evidence points to that more PS5 consoles were available to pre-order than Xbox. So I am curious to see how their manufacturing is going and how many units they're going to have actually for launch, like in stores. I'm very curious to see how they compare, because we know that Sony has committed to more PS5s this holiday than there were PS4s at launch. So we know that they're going to have a pretty strong amount of inventory. I'm very curious to see what Microsoft's current plans are, because they haven't really given like an exact statement like we're going to have more Series X than we had Xbox Ones. I tend to think between X and S there will probably be more than there were ones on the market, but we don't know 100% sure what inventory looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. What about Addict? How did you do? Seeing as you hate Benji now, I don't think you fared that.
Oh, it's me. I'm sorry. My brother came here and asked me a bunch of dumb questions. I didn't get one, unfortunately. I didn't get one.
Okay.
I went there. There was only 6 at the GameStop I had. There was 15 people in line. So I saw that and went to get something to eat and went home. I was like, I'm not sitting there. I'm not doing that for a 0% chance of getting anything.
For sure.
I think the way both of these console manufacturers have handled this is pretty sad, but that's just me. I'm upset mainly because I didn't get one. I'm glad everyone else got one, but I was not one of those people.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's the word with everybody. How about you, Cock?
Yeah, it was spooky for me. I had like 6 tabs open. Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Microsoft, all that stuff, and obviously I'm working remote, so I'm just like, what is going on? You refresh it. I had a couple in my cart. They said they were ready to go. Target did me dirty. Then I had Amazon and Best Buy ready to go. And the time came and they were not available. I'm like, did they not get the update their splash screen? Like, what's going on? So they did me dirty. GameStop, it was looking bad. So what I ended up doing, what saved me, is I went to Xbox.com, signed in, and I had to keep refreshing, and I was able to get into my cart. And the funny part is I get it into my cart, and the green icon to place order will not light up. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, I have it. It won't let me purchase. So I'm going crazy, and I had to re-look at the screen a couple times, and it looked like they had a bunch of addresses down for me because I guess being on Xbox Live, moving around all over the years, and I said, "Oh," and then I clicked the address, and then once I picked this address, it lit up, and it went through. So I was lucky that I was able to get an X. And shout out to Cole, I was able to help him get an S. Shout out to a couple of people who were really struggling. I was trying to give people links. Shout out to Wario64. There are a lot of people that are putting up, links and stuff, trying to really help people secure one because it was fierce out here in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
It was crazy. How about you?
Okay.
Well, I got 3.
I was out there hustling. I was
on the GameStop line, and somebody. It's just a real quick story. Somebody tried to cut the line. After
what?
Hell no. Yeah, so wifey come up, and and she was coming up. I was like, "Yeah, taking off my bracelet, taking off my my chain." And I told her, I said, "If you try to take that paper, I'm gonna knock you out."
Oh my God.
So his brother and his girlfriend was in the front, his so-called brother and his girlfriend, and she was doing the talking because I told the dude, I said, you and your girl are secure. Y'all been here. Your boy showed up. I said, it's gonna be a point in time in this conversation. I'm not gonna say another word. And I gave my wife the phone and I said, yo, just press record. And I said, I want to hear somebody yell out World Star. I said, this is going to be the quickest thing that you've ever seen in your life. So the girl came out to take the orders, and the dude tried to, I said, if you touch that paper, I'm knocking you out. And at that point, she looked over and was like, yeah, you get off the line. You get away. You stand over at the side because she's about to finish you off.
She measured the situation, was like, nah.
It's definitely a dirty situation. But I got an X and I got an S, and then I wind up getting another one from Amazon. But the orders look kind of weird. But I blame it on Taco Bell right now because Taco Bell apparently got a lot of winners and they got a lot of content.
Yeah, I'm a little frustrated with that, to be honest with you.
I got to go buy Taco Bell today.
I'm gonna go eat Taco Bell. I haven't ate fast food in 2 weeks. Microsoft, you're the reason I'm going off my diet.
I'm getting a salad.
Shout out
If I go to fast food, it's not for a salad.
Got the kick for regulating fairness on pre-order lines.
No, you're gonna respect the sanctity of the line. And you're gonna go.
All right, time.
The last point I'll say is, I'll finish up. I'll give it to you, Saul. Is that I think this was calculated. I mean, only from an urgency standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the Bethesda announcement was calculated but actually hurt hardcore gamers because it brought so much of attention to Microsoft with such a fever pitch around the day before your pre-order. So now you got all these people here, and I just think
PS fanboys talking about I gotta go get it next tomorrow.
Exactly. That announcement was timed 100% on purpose.
Thank you for saying that, Benji. 100%. Like that was such a shot in the arm to pre-order this console that I'm like, yo, I might not get this. This is looking spooky. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, for me, real quick, big shout out to first off, Big Fat Eli and one of our followers. He was giving us sort of heads up to go to the Microsoft store and stuff like that. So he helped us out a lot. Kaibatsu managed to get his to the Microsoft store. Shout out to Kaibatsu for doing the Lord's work. I was at work and my internet connection's in the bushes. So he was online with multiple tabs open trying to get it done. And once again, so he got his from the Microsoft store. I managed to get mine from Amazon. And the thing is, I thought I got in late to Amazon because I didn't realize that the pre-orders didn't go up. I just thought the site was dead. Like I was like, oh, the pre-orders must have been gone in a second. And I didn't realize that they just they went up late. So I kind of feel like I was at the front of the line then when it comes to that. So I did get the email of death.
I hate you guys. I really do. I hate you guys.
We'll see.
Don't worry. You already we already got you.
Exactly.
I would have told you the early bird gets the worm. Make sure that you was up at 2:00 in the morning like the rest of us.
Yo, it really did 2 o'clock.
Look at King acting like he was there at 2:00.
No, I was there at 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I stood outside at 4:00. See, this is not new. This is
time. Let's go. We gotta go, man. We gotta go. Let's close out.
That brings us to the end of our show for this week. Shout out to Lord Benji Sales for joining us for the entire podcast.
Thank you.
This gentleman, like we said the last time he was on the show, this gentleman, everything that he does in terms of industry analysis, he does on his own. He all the research, everything is on his own. He is by himself. What he does is absolutely amazing. You need to give this man a follow on Twitter and on YouTube. I've never seen a single person put so much hard work into sort of creating a space for himself in a space where there's already established people. It is absolutely fantastic what you're doing. And thank you so much for joining us again, man.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the kind words. I have been working really hard, so I really appreciate it. I've been hustling as hard as I can. I do a lot of work into it, and like you said, I'm completely solo on it. So thank you so much.
I've been seeing those live viewers and stuff, and your chat go up.
It's been increasing. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Fantastic, brother. It's always a pleasure. We're honored to always have you here to get your perspective, again, from a financial standpoint, from an industry standpoint. It's really cool, and it's educational. And I think what you provide gamers, the information, is very important, especially trends. And I love that you do it from a non-biased perspective. So salute to you, Benji. Always a pleasure to have you around, sir.
And, I put his Twitter and there's his YouTube. I put them both back in the chat. Definitely go there, check him out. He's one of the, I don't really follow too many analytic guys, but I follow Benji.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, Benji we trust.
No, I was happy as hell. He was in for CombatTalk. That was where I was at.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted. He can play a mean guitar and beat your ass.
Lord Addict, where can the fine people find you, sir?
You can find me right after this podcast going to Taco Bell for that chance to get that Series X. King put the faith in me, man. He gave me that faith, that little bit of energy I need to get myself into that car because I'm vacation. Addict don't go nowhere when he's on vacation. So to get myself in that car, go down there and try to get that Series X, and I'll post when I win.
You're gonna win.
You're gonna win. You're
gonna win.
Lord King, what's up? What can we expect from you this week, sir?
Well, I have a Holy Grail showing up any minute now. DHL has been texting me, telling me it got picked up. So I got a couple of stuff that's coming this week. Like I said, KOS, you can catch me on Darth Castle X. It's Fridays at 9 p.m. Definitely something to look out for. The best damn statue show in the known universe. It's funny as hell. We had Mr. X on this week. If you don't know who Mr. X is, go check out his channel. He's a different individual, but check out his stuff. You might like it. All statue guys, I support 100% because this is not an easy hobby. Costs a hell of a lot of money, and there's a lot of heartbreak involved into it. Trust me when I tell you this, when you got to eat ramen noodles. But shout out to Benji for coming through, man. And he knows his combat stuff. Don't get it twisted because he was in acknowledgement for certain things, and he understands what a check left hook is. So be careful with this man. He'll kick you in your leg and check left hook you.
Don't try to take his Series X from him on launch, right?
What is it? He understands the bare naked choke.
Yo, he knows about that bare naked choke. He has tactics well down pat. He will give you analytics in your ears. He's putting you to sleep. You know that Xbox didn't sell well. So shout out to Benji for coming through and hanging out with the Lords. It was fantastic, brother.
No doubt. The boss, Lord Cog, returns next week. Thank you.
An undisclosed location wearing an Xbox shirt. Something up, man.
Yo, the dry snitching.
Yeah, you taking mad pictures with Xbox X, man. Hey, man. Former, current. Everybody's been there. Yo,
time. Let's go.
At the end of the day, yo, salute. I miss y'all. I definitely miss y'all. Solve, Addict, thank y'all. King, holding it down in my absence. Washington has been great.
Is that a patio?
You know what's crazy? You know what is crazy though, Cognito? You took off the 2 weeks of probably the most that's in happening.
It's when I go away.
It's a good thing we invested. It's a good thing we invested in the second, make sure that the show must go on thing, because it would have been the worst 2 weeks of the year to miss.
He don't care. He's in Redmond right now. Look at the patio. No, I swear, he got a swimming pool out there. He looking over refreshed. What the hell's going on?
Time. Let's go. Time.
Everybody, again, all the people I crossed paths with. Washington has been great, but I need to get home. Also, to the realm, again, Benji, thank you for coming through. And last but not least, please, I need some love, some positive thoughts for got some news from Mama Cognito. She's not doing well. She's in the ER. So please send some love her way. Yeah, I just got the news maybe yesterday. I was with Foggy when it happened. So, she's hoping for the best and it's not too serious. So I need some positive energy from that, y'all. So that's it. I'll be back hopefully on my fly out tonight, and I will be back in the States on the East Coast starting tomorrow, and then I'll alleviate solving addicts from their stress.
For me, you know where I'm going. I'm about to have lunch with my wife and then go to work, as I always do. Shout out and much love to Mama Cognito. That's a woman that's very dear to my heart. So I hope everything is okay. And once again, Cog, thank you for allowing trusting me with with the podcast while you're gone. I despise doing this, but
It's all out of his show, baby. We got the Latin music going. We got out there.
I know. You guys
stay tuned for the Sovereign's Tinder commercial.
Tinder commercial. All right, so let me get these last couple of super chats before we go.
Yes.
Gamer by Choice with the $10 super chat. I've been saying we should be afraid of big companies. Put all your favorite games behind services or hardware paywalls like Amazon buying Take-Two, Google buying Activision, etc. Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. There's, like Benji said, there's going to be a shopping spree. Then we have Mariano Pompa with the $5 super chat. In one of your live streams, Benji, you touched on Game Pass numbers. What does Zenimax deal do to Game Pass numbers? How many subscribers at the EOY?
So they had 50% growth in less than 6 months, which is insane, right? Wow. They went from 10 million subs in April up to 15 million in September. So that's insane. It's almost around 1 million a month in terms of gains. I think that they will be by the end of the year at 20 million plus subscribers.
Easy. Wow. That's fantastic. And we have some Sage with the $5 super chat. I knew Cog's surroundings were different. He graduated from that platinum money to that Redmond money. He's probably getting a pedicure mid podcast.
What's funny is I was gonna wear my platinum game shirt today.
Then we have Random Citizen with the $5 super chat. Amazon fumbled the Xbox Series XS pre-orders and then released Luna the next day. They're playing dirty over there. Imagine that. Then we have the Medic with the $5 super chat. Shout out to the IOP Discord for helping me get my pre-order. Also, how Xbox keeps this acquisition quiet, but almost nothing else. Yeah, man.
I think it was last minute. I do. I think the actual buy was last minute.
You think, man?
Because Dishonored 2 was going to leave Game Pass next month. Like,
no, man. Usually these deals take a while.
Time myself though. Let's go.
Okay, so these last couple of super chat, we have Gamers Play with a $5 super chat. What Microsoft owns, Sony doesn't get. That's what the Bethesda co-founder said during a recent interview. Okay, so that is that. Then we have Shastri with the $5 super chat. Lord Addict checkout target. X is up for pre-order. Okay, let's go. Let's all go do that. No doubt, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We had over 600, almost 700 people. In the chat,
over 700.
Over 700 people watching the show live today. That is absolutely
amazing.
Wow. Thank you, guys. We love you. We love the support we get week over.
We come from 13.
Yeah,
13 people.
Yelling at our friends that didn't show up to be in here.
Yeah.
Me cutting people off. Oh, you ain't watch? It's over. Don't hit my jack no more.
It goes without saying that this is because of you guys every single week. So thank you so much. And we will see you next week. Peace. Hi, this is Lord Sovereign from the Iron Lord podcast. As you guys may recall, a few months back, King David OTW announced an amazing giveaway for the Xbox Series X. Well, I'm proud to announce that the Iron Lords podcast will once again be giving away another console at the end of this year. And that console will be a PlayStation 5. You heard correctly. So, how do you get in on this amazing giveaway? Let me explain. If you're already a member of the realm, you're good to go. If you support us either on Patreon or YouTube, you already have a ballot to win this amazing console. And if you support us on both platforms, you have 2 ballots to win this amazing console, as you also have 2 ballots to win an Xbox Series X. So, if you're not a member of the realm, what are you waiting for? Head on over to patreon.com, go to the Iron Lords Podcast Patreon page, become a member of the realm to get your chance to win a PlayStation 5. You can also join us on YouTube/Iron Lords Podcast. Become a member of the realm, and you will also have a ballot to win a PlayStation 5 console. And if you want to support us on both platforms, you'll have 2 ballots for each system to win either a PlayStation 5 console or, of course, as King David said, an Xbox Series X. This is an amazing opportunity that the Iron Lords podcast are so happy to bring to our community because you guys give so much back to us. So again, if you're not a member of the realm yet, what are you waiting for? Go out, join the realm on either Patreon or YouTube. And until next time, I'll see you at the round table.